It looks like it's only about 22.5, but
okay, what's the other car?
That's it. I mean, that's
You have one car.
I'm sorry, we have another car.
What's the other car?
The Civic.
What's it worth?
Well, like $8,000.
Okay.
So the car.
There's two rules of thumb we use when someone asks this question. Number one, don't have vehicles ever in your life that have motors and wheels. Anything with motor or wheel added together that equal more than about half your annual income because you have too much tied up in things going down in value. Great. You're not violating that one. Okay. And the second one is, can we be debt free everything with the house in around 2 years? So we know we got 24 in debt. What other debt have we got?
3,000 credit card debt. That's all debt.
You like the car.
It is a good car.
Then pay it off.
Okay.
You can be debt free inside of 2 years easy. Probably about 18 months or less. You're making 90. We need to pay off 25 grand, 26 grand. You can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So you can do it inside of 2 years, and the total is less than half your annual income. That's the two tests that we use, the means test, if you will, to do that. And folks, I gotta tell you, that's not a biblical thing in terms of it's not in the Bible because I mean the only thing that's in the Bible is the Honda Accord because Jesus said they were all in one accord, but none of the rest of them are in the Bible. So you just add it all up, and the problem is that we all in America love cars. Some people love cars because they're a redneck like me and they want a muffler. Some people like a battery called a Tesla. Some people like Rachel and George, they want to catch fire to themselves. And some people like, my wife likes a nice car because she thinks it's a large purse. And so, but that, we like cars in America. And stupid things go down in value. And when you take 60 or 70,000 and you turn it into $10,000, this is not a wealth building methodology. And it's the largest thing Americans buy that goes down in value because you are what you drive. America is such an identity piece. Mm-hmm. And man, it's I never thought about that. George is a battery. You are what you drive. I'm a loud muffler, so who knew?
That's funny.
But my neighbor said the other day, he goes, I know when you go to work. So how do you know when I go to work? He goes, I can hear it.
So that's who I'm hearing driving? Driving down the road? Oh my gosh. Good to know.
Once a redneck, always a redneck. This is the Ramsey Show. Statistics show that half of Americans don't have enough life insurance, or they don't have any at all. I don't understand this, John. Why don't people want to take care of their family? They think they're going to die or something?
Well, I used to be one of those guys, I didn't even think about it. And one of my buddies said, hey, the only reason to not have life insurance is if you hate your wife and kids. And I immediately went and got term life insurance.
That's a gut punch.
And you're telling me, and for decades, Dave, I've sat across people who've lost a spouse. They've lost somebody important to them.
Me too.
They don't know what to do next.
Me too. I mean, you're going to have a crisis here. And, you got two options while you're sitting and talking to a young widow. She's concerned about how she's going to invest all this money properly and not mess this up, or she's concerned how she's going to eat tomorrow.
That's exactly
These are the two options. And take care of your dadgum family, man.
Term life insurance is going to replace income, pay off debts, cover funeral expenses, so your family can actually have the opportunity to just be sad, to just miss you.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's saying I love you to your family. Term life insurance. Jeff Zander and the team at Zander Insurance makes it easy and affordable. I've used them personally for 25 years. They're the only people I trust. Go to Zander.com or call 800-356-4282. Shaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, guys. We appreciate you being with us. Hey, the best way to get a sense of power, a sense of dignity, a sense of sustainability with your money is by telling it what to do instead of wondering where it went. It's called a budget. When you write down or you use every dollar of the budgeting app and have a plan for your money every month, you'll feel like you got a raise because you've been wasting so much with disorganization and chaos. Me too. I used to do that too. I know exactly how it feels. And I've done financial coaching and counseling for 35 years. And Jade has too, not for 35 years, but she's done a bunch of it. And almost every time we sit down with someone, Jade, and they do their budget, they have this aha moment like, wow, I've got some money.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So check out the Every Dollar app for your budgeting. It's the world's best budgeting app for sure. It's free in the App Store or Google Play, and you can go to everydollar.com and get it there as well. So check it out. We've got tens of millions of people using this every day. It's pretty cool. So thank you guys that are using it. We're glad it's helpful to you. That's what we want to be, is helpful. And just, man, pretty incredible. Andrew is with us in Lexington, Kentucky. Andrew, how are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so how do I pay off my debt if a good portion, over half of my income, goes to child support and taxes?
How many kids do you have?
I have 3 total, 2 are on child support.
Well, if you have kids, you do have to pay for them. And so that's just I think that's part of normal life if you have kids in a family. Same thing with the taxes. And so in this case, it's really just about the math, right? If you want to go faster, usually the solution is you got to bring in more income and more money. So what are you bringing in right now?
I average about gross, probably about over 3, but I only bring in probably about maybe 12 to 15
a month.
Yeah,
$1,500 a month.
Okay, something's wrong with that because in Kentucky, 2 children, child support's 25%.
well, I have from 2 separate moms.
Okay. Oh, so you got 20% each?
My daughter, when we went to court stuff, they did not properly send me paperwork, and the lawyer I had at the time before I found a different lawyer was not in contact with the child support office. So I ended up missing that court date. So they went for back and what they could, with my other custody or child support that I have.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's 2 things we can do here to work on this. Understanding that what Jade said is proper, and I assume you agree with that you need to pay for your kids. There's no question about that, but how can I mathematically make this work? So there is a legal amount in every state. I do not know if it's 2 children from 2 different people, if it changes it, but the max in Kentucky is 25% for 2 kids. Okay. And if you're being charged more than that, you can go back before child services, back before the judge, and have it set up properly. And so make sure you're getting charged the right amount and that you're doing that willingly and gladly because you're a good man and you want to take care of your kids. Okay. But if you're being overcharged, because of a screw up, we'll go back and have the screw up fixed. It's not chiseled in stone. You just got to get back before the judge and go, Your Honor, here's what I've got. Here's my budget. Help me with this. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. I'm not trying to dodge here, but I'm also can't breathe. And so I want to sit down and look at that. And so you've got to get back and reset this to what it should legally and, for that matter, morally be. Then the other side of the equation is what Jade said, and let's start talking about how we can increase your income. What can you do instead of making $3,000 a month to make $6,000 a month? And that may be side hustles, it may be career change, it may be something different. But one of the things we see, Andrew, often, it's almost every single debt-free scream that comes in here is on the stage had an increase in income during the time they're getting out of debt.
It's vital, because the two things that you can do is you can cut expenses and you can increase your income. So there comes a point where you can only cut expenses so much. And then you say, okay, what else can I do? Okay, I'm increasing my income. I'm picking up a side hustle. I'm taking overtime. Anything that will pay me that is legal and moral, I'm going to do that to get money.
Serious money, yeah. I mean, we had a young lady in her 20s that paid off doing a debt-free scream just the other day. Were you on with me?
Yes, I will never forget.
Attended bar, $9,000 a month.
Single mom.
Yep.
Bartending, beating alcoholism, and doing 75 hard at the same time.
Yeah. And $9,000 a month. But she's working 12-hour days at the bar. That's hard work, by the way, if you didn't know. So, wow. So I don't know, Andrew, but Jade's right. There's only two ends of the equation, both of them, and that's be paying the proper amount of child support by the law. And if you need to do an appearance before the judge in order to get that fixed, there's nothing wrong with that. And then increase your income. Lower your expenses, increase your income. And that's what we're doing. So, good question, sir. We appreciate you joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. I will tell you this. Something he brought up, we hear a lot. And not necessarily exactly the way that he said it, and I don't know his exact situation. But here's the thing. If you know there is a thing out there coming at you, you have a former landlord that says you owe them money. That's a thing that's laying out there. You have a repossessed car. It's a thing that's laying out there. They're going to come at you. You've got an old credit card from 5 years ago. You've not paid it. They've not called you, but you've done nothing about it. It's coming at you. You're going through a divorce, and when you go through a divorce and you have children, 100% of the time, there's a child support meeting. That's coming at you. When you know these things are coming at you, one of the things I've observed is that if you don't go headlong into it and face it and handle it before it comes to you, it costs you twice as much. If you wait till the former landlord sues you, if you wait till the old credit card pops up, it's going to pop up right about the time you're trying to buy a house or something, or about the time you're getting engaged or some other kind of crap. These things have a high rate of resurrection. They come back to life. These are debt zombies.
Yeah, you got to be proactive.
And if you don't go find a zombie and handle it, don't tell me, well, they didn't tell me about child support. Dude, you knew about child support. You go down there and fix it.
100%.
Instead, they jacked you up because you weren't there.
Somebody else to tell you.
And make sure it's taken care of.
Yeah.
You got to wander down there and take care of this stuff, boys and girls. It's like, well, I didn't know I had a credit. Yes, you knew you had a credit card debt. You did know that. You weren't that drunk for that long. Eventually, you sobered up and go, yeah, I ran the balance up on that thing. You do know it happened. And so this stuff, it comes back to life, and it's 10x worse than if you had gone and found it and taken care of it yourself. Don't let these things lay out there in the muck, because when they come back to life, they're the swamp monster, and they're 3 times more powerful. Just, you've got to face these things head on. So when you don't take care of business will take care of your butt. That's what I'm saying. This is the Ramsey Show.
Need inspiration? Shop Ralph's for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Ralph's worth it every time. Ralph's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
Hey guys, here's a quick math refresher. There are only 24 hours in a day. So you and your team need to streamline time-consuming tasks on the actually make money. Smart businesses are realizing that to reduce headache, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one platform. With NetSuite, you reduce IT costs because NetSuite is cloud-based. You cut the cost of maintaining multiple systems because you've got one source of truth. And you improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform, slashing manual tasks and errors. So join the 37,000 plus companies, including Ramsey Solutions, that have done the math and are boosting their efficiency with NetSuite. And right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to drive the right behaviors for your business absolutely free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey to get your free KPI checklist. Jade Washout, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the Dead Street free stage. Kevin and Siobhan are with us. Hey guys, how are you?
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Great.
Welcome, welcome. Where do you guys live?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Wow, welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you two paid off?
$84,000.
Wow. How long did this take?
28 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
158 to 200.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm in engineering operations.
And I am a stay-at-home mom, homeschool my kids, and I've done some side jobs with just like our homeschooling group teaching.
Good for you. Well done. What kind of debt was this $84K?
David was our house.
Hey up, girls! Look at that weird people! And we were saying that before the political people were saying it. I'm just saying, all right. Hey, guys, way to go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love it. What's the house worth?
$475.
I love it. How old are you two?
43. We're both 43.
43-year-old weirdos. Wow. A paid-for house. How much in your nest egg in your retirement accounts and so forth?
$625.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
Baby steps millionaires, too.
Nice.
At 43. Boom, boom. Look at you. How's that feel?
It's, I never thought I would be here. It's amazing.
Wow.
Life-changing.
Congratulations. Proud of y'all. Excellent. So tell us your story. What was your I've had it moment? What turned this whole thing around? How'd you get connected to us?
I've been connected to you for about a decade. I think our story starts back in 2007. We were just married. We were living up in the Detroit area, and I was working in the automotive industry. And if you remember, 2007, 2008 wasn't a real great time up in Detroit. The company that I worked for was actually sold to a leveraged buyout company. Malin had just been born, and May 3rd, and that was the same day we decided we need to get out of here. And we actually put our house on the market.
The day she was born.
The day she was born.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yep.
right, yeah.
And
We are out of here.
yes. And the real estate market was awful. It took us 5 months to sell the house. And I still remember this day, we had to write a $20,000 check and bring it to closing just to get rid of the house. And it wiped out our life savings. And we looked at each other, and it wasn't anything we had done wrong, but we just said, we never want to feel like this again. And it was at that point I was able to get a job in Ohio and my parents lived down there. And we actually moved in with my parents and lived with our daughter Madeline for the first year, just to climb back out, because everything we'd saved for was gone. Everything we saved for was gone.
And then you end up buying a house.
Yes.
And said, but we're going to get it paid off fast.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And you were connected to us way back in Detroit?
I think I may have started listening to it just a little bit, but then really got connected once we moved down to it. I probably listened to you for over a decade, so for a long time. Yes.
Well, it worked. Your baby steps million.
Thank you.
From being broke and living in your daddy's basement. Yeah. Oh my God.
It was actually upstairs. It wasn't in the basement.
You put him in the basement. Okay. All right. Either way, I got you. The attic. Okay. Wow. Congratulations, Joe.
Thank you.
So tell us, what does it look like? For a lot of people don't believe that you can pay off your mortgage one day, right? That's not something people talk about every day unless you're here on the Ramsey Network, right? So so tell people, what does that look like? What do you do to pay off your mortgage?
So years ago, Madeline is 17 now, and she'll be starting college next year. And I think I was just looking at the principal, like the amount. I just started kind of doing the numbers in my math, and I was like, if we really focus on this, we get this thing paid off. And it just you had this clarity of thought, like, if we really focus on this, we can get it done. And then you start making the payments and the bonuses and just put it down. It's like, holy cow. It's just unbelievable the traction that you can achieve when you're really
you
focused.
averaged $3 or $4 grand a month
Yep.
for 28 months and you were done.
Yes.
Yeah. But there's still that intentionality of taking the numbers out of the air,
Yep.
right? And putting them on paper, putting them in your every dollar budget.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got a feeling I know who the nerd is in the family. And so you came out of your cave with your spreadsheet, and what did your wife say?
I think, fortunately, I've listened to you long enough that we dreamed together. We had the why. We've had the why conversation for a long time. We talked about what we want our lives to be like when we're older. And so we had that discussion, the why discussion. We dreamed in high definition, as you said. We talked about traveling and helping our kids pay for school. And the biggest thing for Siobhan was we had a challenging time with Madeline when she was little. She had some health issues, and she said, I want to be able to go when my grandchildren, and just stay with them, whether it's a week or it's a month or whatever it is that they need. I want to have the freedom to be able to go help with my grandchildren. That was one of her dreams.
Yeah. And that's called financial independence, so to speak. It's not, you're not independent, you're actually interdependent. But yeah, wow, way to go, guys.
Thank you.
Very cool. You guys are heroes. You go from broke to millionaire in 10 years. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
It's just one day. I would say it's also one day at a time too, and just staying focused on that.
Turn left on Sema Mesa
And the small things add up too, and being content and realizing that stuff doesn't make you happy.
You know, the other gift that's hidden inside this story is you got these beautiful kids over here that are living in your home, being homeschooled, and they're breathing this air of contentment. They're breathing this air of living on less than. The air doesn't feel like that, then they know something's wrong. And so a pattern for them. More's caught than taught, Rachel says, and she's right. So pretty cool thing. It's pretty cool parenting. They're gonna do what you do. They're not gonna do what you say. So pretty impressive.
But how do you celebrate? What happens next?
Yeah, what's the big celebration?
Big celebration is actually Madeline's graduating from high school, so we're actually taking a 9-day Caribbean cruise.
Yeah, baby! I like it. Yes, we should do that. Absolutely.
Head to your drop-off at Walmart Supercenter.
We sell our house at a loss, move into the attic, graduates. By God, we're going on a cruise. I like it. This is good.
Turn left Pioneer Drive, then turn right on Sandwood Way.
Well done, you guys. Very well done. All right, bring up the kiddos. Let's meet them all and their names and ages, please.
Madeline here is 17.
Right.
Nicholas
Turn
is 12.
right on Sandwood
and Samuel
Way,
is
then
14.
turn left on
All
62nd
right,
Street
very
East.
good. Good job, you guys. Proud of y'all. And I assume they've been practicing their debt-free scream because their mom and dad are heroes.
Turn left on 62nd Street East, then turn right on East Avenue R.
Debt-free millionaires at 42 freaking years old. Shut up. This is great.
Turn right on
I'm so
East
proud of
Avenue
y'all.
R.
Just amazing. Just amazing. All right, Kevin and Siobhan, Madeline, Samuel, and Nicholas, Cincinnati, Ohio, 84,000 paid off. That's their house and everything, making them baby steps millionaires. In 28 months they paid off the house, making 158 to 200. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free.
Turn left on 60th Street East.
2, 1. We're debt-free! Yeah! I love it. This 10 to 15 year time span, it was 2007, so I quoted that wrong. It wasn't 10 years, so it would be 15 years or so, 16 years that it took them to turn. When you say I'm going to become a millionaire, most people think it takes 50 years.
Your whole life. Yeah.
And it's going to take forever, and I'm not going to have a life.
I'll
And
be 80 by the time
I'm going to live in a cave and collect lint until I'm 92, and old paper clips and whatever else, right? It's just like, oh God, no, that's not how it works. They're 42. They're going on a 9-day cruise to sell houses, okay? So if you're 27 and you're whining about a little bit of sacrifice, shut up and do the work.
I know. Wow.
Step up. Seriously.
Because 40 is the new 30.
I thought 60 was.
We can do that too.
Apparently green is a new fashion trend.
That's right. You're on trend, Dave. Good
I
job.
had no idea. You and I were both dressed to join the Army today.
And
but
glasses,
we did. So, hey, we're a real team around here. We're more in sync than we realize. Way to go, you guys. We're
Gotta
very
give you some
proud
of
of
my
you.
hair.
No. Oh, man, I'm proud of those people. What a neat family. This is The Ramsey Show.
In a quarter mile, turn right on East Avenue South. Turn right on East Avenue South.
Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country, and they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me on the show.
Sure. What's up?
Well,
In a quarter mile, make a U-turn to stay on East Avenue South.
It paid off home. Currently valued at $450,000. Having
Make a U-turn to stay on East Avenue South, then turn right.
Well, I assume he doesn't have the money to buy out your half.
he does not.
I think it's a little dramatic to say throw him out on the street. He's going to have $200,000 in his pocket when he lands on the street.
I feel the same way.
So, yeah, I mean, on what planet does he think he gets to live there for free indefinitely?
Well, he's been living here for free for about 15 years now. He has an anxiety disorder, which led him to be dependent
Drop
on
off,
Xanax.
Anthony.
He does not work. His girlfriend pays all his bills. She's been living there for about 9 years. She's a disabled vet who works part-time as a nurse. And mother couldn't have the heart to put him on the street. And as a Christian, I'm struggling too. What's the right decision?
Yeah, I'm not sure that supporting or enabling people's inability or unwillingness to deal with their stuff is non-Christian. As a matter of fact, it's non-Christian to enable them to sit in the sewage that we call their life right now. Loving them well would require them to deal with their stuff and build a sustainable life and dignity.
Right.
That would be an act of love. Does that sound right?
I agree.
The definition of Christian is not wimp. It's not doormat. It's kind, but it's also strong, and it's acting in others' best interests. So what is best for your brother is for him to heal. to seek counsel and deal with the anxiety and get off the drugs. And because the way you stated this, you don't believe that you believe he's escaping reality rather than dealing with and getting better. That's what I heard you saying. Did I miss something?
No, I think you're saying it correctly.
Yeah. And that's your viewpoint on it. And so if this is my friend or my brother, loving them well would be helping them do better in their life, not giving them a cocoon to continue to retreat down into a hole.
Right.
So that's what enabling. Your mom was an enabler. And sweet. All enablers are nice people. They're the nicest people on the planet because they don't want to do anything that causes conflict or raises an eyebrow. So, gosh, I guess you've got two options. One is you do have to deal with this lovingly and help him get better, and sit down with him and the parasite that moved in with him, and because he attracted that with his life. That's what his life attracted, and help them deal with it and help them see a path of what they could do with the money from the house, or just deed it to him and walk away.
Right.
Which is honestly cowardice.
Yeah, do you need the money? It's a lot of money.
I definitely need the money.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there is a practical nature to this as well, which is just because he lived in the house for 15 years doesn't make it wasn't his.
It's not his house.
It wasn't his house.
It's his house.
And now you have ownership of it, and there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, can you please, this is $200,000 that you're holding hostage, and I really need access to that. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. And to Dave's point, you're not putting him on the street. He's coming away with a couple $100,000, which is a nice chunk of change. And
where is the house?
Where's the house?
Mm-hmm.
In Niles, just outside of Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago area. Okay.
Yeah, Chicago area.
All right. Are you in that area as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, are you married?
No, I am divorced.
Okay. I'm just looking up for what the dynamics are. So,
sure.
Is there anyone in you and your brother's life that could sit with the two of you while you work on this that could help kind of navigate through all the emotion?
Well, I haven't talked to my brother in probably 5 months.
Okay.
So this makes it even more difficult. He's basically just cut everybody off in his life.
Okay. All right. I would call him and I would go over there, and it's half your house, okay? And say, we need to have a cup of coffee, and I love you, and I want to be kind to you, and we've got to talk about what we're going to do here. Because I can tell you this, one of the options is not, this is you talking to your brother. If it's me, you got to love him well enough to be strong and kind. And just, honey, one of the options is not you stay here free the rest of your life. That's not an option. I'm the executor of the estate, and legally, that gives me the power to evict you. And so you and I can do this together, nicely, and we can figure out a way to get the house sold. Or if you've got money that I don't know about, you can buy me out. I don't care. But I'm not going to sit here and do nothing, and you aren't either, because I'm going to force you to do these other things. So I really want to do this in a way that you and I work together and we can be friends the rest of our life. And but that's going to be up to you. That's what I'm telling him. It's up to him how he reacts to this situation, because his set of assumptions are completely immoral, unethical, and unreasonable.
Correct.
And so he can choose to react and act like you're doing something wrong, but you're not.
And you have to go in knowing that.
So let me just say, so you go over there, the whole thing blows up, he has a fit, acts like a 4-year-old, says, get out of here, I'm going to shoot you. Then you say, all right, here's what we're going to do. You're going to be getting a letter from the attorney, and the attorney's going to be telling you that you have 30 days to move, and after that, we're going to evict you. And after that, I'm going to sell the house, and I will still send you your half of the house once it's sold, but you are leaving. and you chose poorly on how to react to this. It's still going down, honey. And then just walk off and go get a lawyer.
Okay.
Because that's probably what's going to happen. Am I right?
I'm really taking this to heart. The other thing, in the interim, my father has gone ahead and he's taken $1,400 a month from his future inheritance, and he's giving that to me as rent. He says, well, as long as your brother's in there, he says, you're going to keep getting $1,400 a month, and that'll go over to your inheritance. But, you know, Dave, as well as I know, we don't have the crystal ball. That money could easily disappear down the road. We don't know.
I don't like that.
So your father also is an enabler. He's covering for him too. Am I understanding that right?
I think he was just feeling bad for me and just...
Oh, you feeling bad for you. Oh, okay.
Well, it's both, because he's saying I'm essentially paying your brother's rent, and if you let me pay rent to you, then you can let him stay in the house. It's very twisted, all of it. I mean, I don't have to tell you that it's unhealthy, an unhealthy dynamic.
I would rather him give your brother $1,400 to help him get counseling and go to a rehab center and go inpatient treatment and get some help with the anxiety disorder so he can become sustainable and healed. I'd rather him use the money for that and let the lady who lives there's family take care of her, and your dad to help take care of your brother. And if you want to use some of the money from the house to take care of him, if he's moving in positive steps, I'd be willing to do that if I were you. But I'm not willing to sit here and cause this dysfunction to happen to me. It is not good for anyone in the story. No one in the story is winning.
Correct.
No one in the story is going to have a better life because of this.
Head to your pickup
So
at
it just requires
3745
proactivity on your
Sonora
part, and I'm sorry, but it's going to be, you got a year of emotional hell ahead of you. You're going to get called everything in the book before this is over. I'm sorry. Pick up Dr. Henry Cloud's book, Boundaries. You'll read it, and you'll go, oh, there's my family. This is The Ramsey Show.
Turn right on
Before we get to the next
47th
caller, I got
Street.
some good news for you. Even when this portion of today's show runs out of time, there's still plenty more for you to tune into. Just head on over to the Ramsey Network app to finish today's show for free, right there on the home screen. And if you don't have the app, just search Ramsey Network in the App Store, Google Play Store, or click the link in the show notes for an easy download. You never know what call's coming up next. So finish today's episode in the Ramsey Network app today. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Jay Warshaw, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. The call is free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. Scott is in Baltimore. Hi, Scott. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon, Dave and Jay. How are you doing today?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I'm a 58-year-old single guy. Getting tired of working. I'm trying to get to retirement, but I don't have really anything saved. I need to know what I should do to get there.
What do you make?
75.
What do you do?
I'm a trim carpenter. I trim high-end houses and build some custom cabinets as well.
Do you have any debt?
I've got about $25,000 worth of a mortgage and $20,000 auto loan.
Okay, good. Okay. Why have you saved no money?
I was
In a quarter mile, enter the roundabout and take the third exit onto East Palmdale Boulevard using the right lane.
got divorced, and I walked away with $0.
That was 8 years ago. Why have you
That
saved
was
no
8
money in
years
the last 8 years?
Enter the
well,
roundabout and take the third exit onto
house.
East Palmdale Boulevard.
That's where the mortgage comes in. I got $25,000 left on that.
So is that where your extra money was going, paying down that mortgage? What did it start as?
Paying down the mortgage.
Using the right lane
I
exit
think
onto
the
East
property,
Palmdale Boulevard.
I got it for a song in a great neighborhood. I put a fair amount of money into it. And that's where most of my money went.
So the
So, and you bought a truck.
No. I have a truck that's paid for.
Oh, what's the $20,000 vehicle?
I know you're into cars, Dave. It's not a car. It's a motorcycle. It's a Harley Davidson.
we gotta get rid of that.
In a quarter mile, turn right on 40th Street East
I
using
knew
the
that
right
was the
lane.
first thing you were going to tell me to get rid of.
Yeah, it's gone.
So
If you want to save money, I mean, we can't keep doing what we've been doing. Okay, you have a $20,000. You almost owe as much on your motorcycle as you do on your house. That's weird.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, really. So, you did so good on the house and so poorly on the motorcycle. So it was a weak moment. I'm sure it's a great bike. But it's gone. It's gone. It's somebody else's great bike now. And because we need you to, and then, what I would say is let's get on an every dollar budget and build an emergency fund first of 3 to 6 months of
Turn right on
expenses.
40th Street
And then
East.
pick up every extra job you can get. And let's pretend that you saved $10,000. Let's pretend you saved $24,000, $2,000 a month, $24,000 per year for 10 years. That'd be $240,000 plus growth. It'd be $500,000.
Okay.
Okay, and you're 67, and you'd have $500,000 in a paid-for house.
Okay. I do have about $23,000 in cash.
Okay, well then you got your emergency fund in place.
Turn left on Avenue Q2 and turn right on Coronado Way.
I've got a term life insurance policy. It's $100 a month for $500,000.
Turn right
Should
on
I keep
Coronado
that,
Way.
or is there a way to convert that to something else?
I didn't convert. It's just like I have homeowners insurance and I don't have a home anymore. Do I need it? No, you don't. Because there's no one counting on you, it sounds like, for your income.
No.
Okay. And the house is worth more than you owe on it. Do you have children?
I've got 3.
Okay, so if you die, they sell the
Just
house and
ahead,
pay the
pick up
funeral.
Bellamar on the right.
Correct.
Okay.
Let it lapse.
Yeah, so I would close that out because you need that extra $100 a month toward our $2,000 a month goal. So what I'm going to do is sit down and do a budget. And I'm going to come up with $2,000 a month. I'm going to sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, and I'm going to fill up Roth IRAs and simple IRAs and whatever else you can do as a self-employed person. The great news is, as a trim carpenter in high-end properties during a week, actually getting traction.
At High Desert Dental Center.
Part of what's making you tired is you feel stuck.
I don't know if I necessarily feel stuck. I know what stuck feels like because once I got
Turn
out
right on 37th Street East.
and started actually saving and being able to have money and didn't have
Turn right on
paycheck to
37th Street
paycheck.
East, then turn left on East Avenue Q.
I'm sitting down with it and thought, wow, this feels really good.
Yeah, I'm tired of working is what you told me. And so if my work is going toward a goal that I'm excited about, I'm not as tired. That's all I'm saying.
Turn left on East Avenue Q.
Yeah. Well, my goal is to get as much money, save as much money as I can for retirement. Retirement for me is probably working 3 and 4 days a week instead of, 5, 6, and 7 days.
That's true, but there always comes a time where you won't be working anymore. And so making sure you get to the point that you're okay when that phase of life hits is also very important.
See, if you had $500,000 in the bank at 67, or in a mutual fund at 67 and a paid-for house, that $500,000 will throw you $50,000 a year.
Right.
Without forever. And so you could travel. You can do whatever you want to do with $50,000 a year. You can work 1 day a week. You can do whatever. But what I do know, having grown up in the been in the building business, real estate business my whole life, is carpenters are artists. They're the artists on the site. They're very precise, very detailed. He makes furniture. You've got an artist's eye, and I need you to use your business side, the science, not the art side of this discussion that we're having. Okay? You can't art your way out of this one. You got to science your way out of this one. And so it's a math thing, and then it will build you a situation where you have enough of a nest egg that it causes you to have a good life. That's what I'm wanting to move you towards. So you got 10 years, $2,000 a month, and you can get there. It's very doable. And you might fool yourself. You might get there sooner because the more you pile it up, the faster, the more you're willing to work, all that kind of stuff. So, you can back down at whatever point. But I would sit down with Smart Mr. Pro, go to RamseySolutions.com, pick somebody with the heart of a teacher and say, this is my situation. I've got to do this. Dave told me to get on an every dollar budget. He told me to jack my income up, get rid of my motorcycle. Jade told me to get rid of my motorcycle. Dave agreed. And
just slide that in there.
Just threw that under you see the bus tracks? I see the bus tracks right across her. Yeah, there we go. And get you a game plan, man, and then execute the game plan just like you were doing a job on a house. You lay out the game plan, you lay out what is needed, you get the supplies on hand, and you execute. Same thing here. Same
In
exact
a quarter
deal.
mile, turn left on
This
22nd
is the
Street
Ramsey
East.
Show.
In a quarter mile, turn left on 22nd Street East.
Guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
Jade Washout, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Today's question of the day is brought to you by Why Refi. If private student loan debt is taking away your peace of mind and you don't see any way out, you need Why Refi. Why Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch. And they give you a low, fixed rate loan that's custom built for you. So, go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. Might not be in all states.
Today's question comes from Patty in Illinois. My husband and I purchased a very modest home for his parents due to the rising cost of rent in our area. My father-in-law is disabled. My mother-in-law works full-time at a very modest job, and they pay us a small amount of rent each month. It's been 5 years now, and the home has required a lot of repairs, such as water, intrusion of mold. We've been able to cash flow the problems, but it has cost over $15,000, not to mention our sanity. It has also changed our relationship because they frequently contact us for issues or requests, in spite of many conversations about what is, quote, nice to have versus what is, quote, needed. We're trying to honor our word, but it has been very taxing emotionally and financially. We're in baby step 6, and we need to plan for our own retirement. I keep telling myself to suck it up, but we are losing tons of money with no end in sight. I've listened to the show long enough to know we probably shouldn't have done this, but at the time it felt like the right thing to do. What would you do if you were in our shoes? Well, first off, I wish I had more information, Dave. I want to know how old these parents are, I want to know more. I want to know the value of the house, because I'm thinking if you bought a house in 2019, like the value's probably gone up a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
So they might not be losing money in the way that she thinks. Now, the actual idea of doing this, I think, was a really bad idea. I think there was just a lack of foresight here, and I don't know what the promise was. Did they say, hey, we're doing this house, you're going to live here and, until you die, and we're covering it? I don't know what the promise was, but I think that they may have, promised more than what they could deliver on, and I think that's probably what she's feeling some type of way about.
So she's got a lot of drama in her words.
Uh-huh. She does.
And it's her in-laws.
Uh-huh.
The piece of information I would like is I'd like to talk to her husband and see if he feels the same way.
Uh-huh. And if it was everybody's idea.
If it's bothering him to the same degree, or if this is in-law drama that you are now molding or laying over on this house.
Yes. Uh-huh. I think it's a little bit of both. She does use the word we a lot, which makes me think that there is some unity.
No, I don't think it was a hidden thing, but I think he went into it and went, I bought mom and dad a house, and dad's disabled. Mom got not much of a job, and they pay us what they can pay us, and we fix the stuff that breaks. And she's going, oh, I'm dying.
Yeah.
It's like, so $15,000 is not, we are losing tons of money
for
over
5 years.
5 years.
No, it's nothing.
If you own a house, you're going to spend more than $15,000 over 5 years on a house.
Mm-hmm. And they're getting some rent, which is good.
And it's going up in value.
Uh-huh. Going up in value.
Mom and dad are going to pass someday, and you're going to have a nice asset that's gone up in value that you can sell.
And probably pay off your house and more if you haven't already.
So I think first thing I would want to do is get to the bottom and say, where is all this resentment really coming from? Is it really coming from the house? I kind of don't think it is.
I don't think so. Now, there is part of it where they may have bitten off more than they realized they were going to be chewing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, in theory, it sounded good, and then when you start walking it out, you're like, oh my goodness. But to your point, if she's writing into our show, there's something that they're not talking about.
Yeah, if your mother-in-law is calling you and asking you to fix something at a house that you gave to her at a deal, and you already had, mother-in-law itis, then that would just make it worse, right? I mean, it's like, well, the difference in what is needed and what's nice to have.
Yeah.
But, it's a modest home. They're modest people. She makes a modest income. There wasn't anything in here lavish.
There's also, though, Dave,
I didn't hear a jacuzzi being installed.
I think, to quote myself, I think there's also a vocab rehab that needs to happen.
Amen.
Because here she's saying, my husband and I purchased a very modest home for his parents. They don't own the home. They're renters. You guys bought a house for yourself. It's your asset. It's your home. And I think if you start viewing it as an asset that we have, it's going to change your thoughts.
I have a rental house, and it had a water leak, and I had to fix them all.
That's right. As opposed to it's.
Guess what? I've had to do that a bunch of times.
Right. So
and
that'll help.
I had zero drama about it.
That's right.
I just fixed it.
And it's going up in value.
Tree fell on the back porch, and I just fixed it. It's just, it's just you own a house and crap happens, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
right.
like the other question that I'm with you. I don't think we have enough information because it's a very interesting question.
It is.
And I'm impugning a lot on you, Patty. I apologize for that, but I'm trying to figure out what's really happening here, and therefore to what to do with this.
Because also their age might play into it. If
they're 87, suck it up. If they're 57,
kick them out.
Sell it and give them the money that it brings, whatever it brings. Give them the money from it, because you didn't buy it for money. You bought it to help them. If you want to give them whatever proceeds are, because you're going to have made some money to your point from 2019. So, that's part of it, and and I think then I would want to just really ask. I don't know.
Well, walk that out. What would you do? So let's say she's listening. She goes, yeah, you know what? They are in their 50s. They need to get out of this house. They've been paying us a small amount of rent. What would you suggest in that situation to fairly?
I mean, I don't care if you give them the money. Really, I mean, you sell the house and whatever. I don't know if there's a mortgage here or not, but pay off all the expenses, and then whatever money you've made on the house, give it to them. I don't care. I'll tell you the other piece I don't know right here is I don't know Patty's income.
Yeah, that's right.
Patty makes $300,000 a year. Stop whining and deal with it.
That's another good point.
If Patty makes $55,000 a year, then you did something you couldn't afford to do here.
That's true.
And that's where some of this drama is coming from, is the pinch. Because it's like, it's been very taxing emotionally and financially.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't understand. It's $15,000 is not taxing emotion. I mean, it's not. But so that's. Yeah.
It's a lot of details. Maybe call in sometime, Patty.
Yeah, we'd do that. So you could contact them back off the email if you want to, James. We'd take the call. Because I don't know what to do, but I think we could give a couple of scenarios, if then, okay, kind of flow chart it.
Yeah.
If they're super old and you make a lot of money, then this drama is in your head. Calm down and suck it up. If they're super young and you don't make a lot of money, maybe you need to move them out and sell the house. I think those are the two variables that could be there. I don't hear a lot of mother-in-law drama, but I just think it was curious to me how much drama she had, and I wondered if her husband would feel exactly the same way. I bet he doesn't.
Now, if they're only paying, the mortgage is $2,000, and she said they're paying a small amount of rent, so they're paying $1,000. The proceeds, I'd split.
Okay, I don't care. The thing is, you're not selling it because you need money.
That's true.
She did not bring that up.
You're right. She did not bring it up.
Selling it to get rid of an emotionally and financially draining situation, to quote her.
Yeah, that's true, but she did say we're in baby step 6 and need to plan for our own retirement. So that made me think they might want some money.
Could be. It could just be that
the drama.
I'm tired of giving them anything. I'd rather put it in my account.
In-law situations, they get salty really quick.
Not going there. Not going to do that.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. You started the whole thing right when you said you shouldn't have done it.
Foresight. You have to play these things out in your mind, years and years, to see where it will land and all of the different variations of the plan.
When you're trying to help your parents, you're trying to help your own kids, you do not enter into a process that does not bring them to sustainability on their own. And so you get them up where they're standing on their own feet and you let them go. So whatever you're doing, create a situation that gets them up on their own feet instead of a continuous drain. And so so you people paying your 28-year-olds private schools for their kids, that's not sustainable. You shouldn't have entered into that. This is the Ramsey Show. You've been gazelle intense, you've eaten more beans and rice than you knew existed, and now you're ready to make your biggest investment better. Blinds.com is a great way to dress up a room or your entire home. Whether you're comfortable with do-it-yourself projects or you don't even know what a Phillips head screwdriver is, well, trust Blinds.com to take care of you like Ramsey would. You can do the measuring and installation yourself, or you can let Blinds.com's professionals handle everything for you. Blinds.com offers a completely hassle-free experience. Count on them to deliver stylish window treatments from premium brands without the premium markup. You'll never have to deal with pushy salespeople in your home just to get a quote. But you can count on free shipping, free samples, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee so that you can rest easy. That's why we've recommended Blinds.com for over 10 years. Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 45% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Turn left on 22nd Street East, then turn right on East Palmdale Boulevard.
The $12 sale is here through August 31st. We've got $12 books to help you raise Money Smart Kids. The book Smart Money Smart Kids, #1 bestseller by Rachel Cruz and me. $12 books to help you get out of debt and build wealth, including our #1 bestseller, Baby Steps Millionaires, including Jade's book. $12 books to help you build a peaceful and joyful life. Dr. John Deloney walks you through the 6 daily choices in building a non-anxious life. Kid Collins from Paycheck to Purpose will help you do work that really matters. All $12. Check them out, RamseySolutions.com/sale. Barbara is in Santa Barbara. Hi, Barbara. How are you?
Oh, good. Thank you so much for taking my call. It's a pleasure to talk to you both.
Turn left on 20th Street East.
I've been listening to you for quite a while. I know how you love whole life insurance policies. Yeah, my husband took one out literally in college in the 60s because a friend of his, got their first job and sold everybody in the fraternity house a whole life policy. So it is now 2024. We still have this policy, but I've never heard you address this issue. If we terminate this policy, because I feel we can self-insure at this point, I have a loan on this policy for $63,000. And the agent is telling me if I surrender the policy, that will be taxed at my income or income level. Is that true?
No.
No.
It's not true.
Because I thought, my understanding was the way you talk about it, when you borrow against the policy, you're actually borrowing your own money and paying interest to borrow it.
Exactly.
So I thought,
so your cash value amount is how much?
$3,030.
Above the 63.
Yes.
Okay, so you get a check for $3,000.
Okay.
Okay, and you have a net income as a result of that of $66,000, which includes the loan. Okay. That amount is compared to the total amount you have paid into the policy since the beginning, which is way more than $63,000.
Okay.
Your basis in a cash value policy for tax purposes is the total of your premiums paid in.
Right.
And as long as your cash value does not exceed that number, you have zero taxes.
Okay, so I would think that since it's been paid on since really the 70s or 60s, 70s.
Yeah, how much have you paid on it? Do you know?
No, I have no idea. The death benefit's $24,000.
Yeah, but I mean, if you add it up, you're going to add up and see the total premiums that you have put in is going to be more than the cash value that you get out.
Okay, how am I going to find it? Where do you find that? Can they tell me that?
They can tell you that. Now, the company can tell you that, or you could just say, how much is the monthly or the annual amount and multiply it out since you got it.
Oh, okay, I got you. So as long as, and I would think that we've paid in enough over all these years, so it's more than $63,000. Right?
Exactly. I mean, it's been 60 years?
60 years.
Oh my gosh.
So if it's $1,000 a year.
I would have never thought this policy, but I just never knew about this because I know you say surrender it up, you can self-insure. I've never heard you address it if you have a loan on it.
Yeah,
and they keep telling me I'm paying income tax on it.
Well, that's what they like to tell you because they scare you to keep the thing in. Business don't even know what they're doing.
So
level of expertise is so low because 80% of them are gone in a year. People that sell whole life insurance, 80% that start selling whole life insurance are gone in a year. So the number of seasoned experienced, expert agents that have been doing it for 30 years. Because they realize how bad they're ripping people off and they get out of the business.
The numbers on this are bananas.
Yeah.
She's been paying into it since the 60s.
Yeah.
It only had $63,000 of cash value and only a $24,000
Turn right on East Avenue South using the right lane.
I'm shooketh.
Yes. I mean, what if there was $63,000 and she hadn't borrowed on it
I know.
and she died or he died?
They'd lose it.
They get the 63 be gone. The only way you ensure you get it is to keep a loan
Turn
on
right
it.
on
So,
East
and
Avenue
then when you
South.
try to get out of this complete screw job, they lie to you or they're ignorant, one of the two, about how the tax calculation actually works.
That is
So-
crazy.
Yeah, this is how bad it is. It's a payday lender of the middle class.
Remember on Sanford and Son when Red Fox, I'm coming to join you. What do you have that?
What was his wife's name? Lily?
I think so. I can't remember.
I'm coming.
Oh gosh, that
Next
hurts
time
my
on
heart.
Casa Verde Drive.
Oh Lord.
Oh.
Sheesh.
That's it. That's how it works. Spencer is in Austin, Texas. Hi, Spencer. How are you?
Hey, Jay, thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Yeah, so my situation
Turn left on
right now,
Casa
so I
Verde
live in
Drive.
a house that my parents own, and they want to sell it to me, and I want to buy it from them, and I have the cash to pay it off.
Good.
But they want to, which I do definitely follow your plan on that for sure. Pay it off cash. I don't like that either. But anyway, I guess the reason I'm calling though is because so they've owned this house for just under a decade, and so they bought it back in 2016 for just under $100,000. And now, as you know, the housing market is crazy. So I think this house is worth somewhere between 200 to 225. So they want to sell it to us. We haven't negotiated the price yet, but they want to sell it to me, somewhat close to what they paid for it.
Wow.
So I guess my question is, I know it's a good deal for sure. But I guess my question is, I guess I'm calling on their behalf too, because, we're wondering about, are there going to be capital gains taxes? How does it work with me buying it at much less than what it's worth? How does all that kind of work? And what's some ways around if there are any, capital gains and things like that?
Okay. Capital gains tax is calculated on
Just
the
ahead, pick
gain
up Brody on the left.
over basis. Let me kind of walk you through that. That's a technical thing, all right? What you pay for a house is your basis. So let's say they paid $100
Pick up
for
Brody
it,
on.
sold it to you for $150. Then they would gain. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, and that's at 15%, and so that would only be $7,500 will be their taxes. Okay, that's a simplified look at the thing. Now we'll add a couple of complications in there. If they have been renting the property and have been filling out a tax return on that and depreciating the property against their taxes, taking depreciation, then they have an adjusted basis. So the $100,000 they paid for it minus any depreciation that they have taken becomes their basis. So let's say they had taken $20,000 worth of depreciation on their taxes over the years, then their basis is no longer 100. Now it's 80. You following me?
Yes, sir.
It's called an adjusted basis. And then your taxes are going to be on the difference between the 150 and the 80. So they're paying taxes on 70 grand in that case. So that's how you calculate it out. If to you, this thing's worth 300 and they sell it to you for 100, you probably ought to get some tax advice as to whether or not that's going to qualify as just a good deal, or whether the IRS would look at that as giving you a gift and try to tax them on a gift tax. I wouldn't want them to get hit with
Turn
that.
right
So
on East Avenue South.
there's kind of a gray area on the difference in a gift and a good deal. And so-
Okay, that was my other question too, because they're going to sell it to me for less than what it's currently valued at. And so I guess they were kind of worried about that as
yeah,
well.
how absurd, if they sell it to you for $1 and it's worth $1 million, then they're going to get hit with gift tax, okay? Because that's a gift. That's not just a good deal. Let's go over the top, okay? It's going to kind of shake everybody up that looks at it. But if you sell you a $300,000 house for $200,000, that's probably just a good deal. So you need to talk to a tax advisor on that part of it to make sure that you're not violating something being a good deal or being a gift. And then they also can help you with calculation. So, good deal. And pay cash for it, and it's a free, clear transaction.
Turn
Sounds like
left
a
on
wonderful
25th
deal.
Street
This
east
is the
using the
Ramsey
left
Show.
lane. Turn left on 25th Street east.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Val is in Minneapolis. Hey, Val, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Oh, Sally. I listened to years, 5 years, when I said time to start listening and start doing it.
Okay, good. How can we help today?
So right now, I finally started with the first and second step. But now I'm at the point where I have 3 kids that I know I shouldn't have. I needed probably, I couldn't sign for a car loan because, if you want to do one, you got to do the other one. So I'm stuck with these 3 car loans. One of them is about to be paid off in 2 months. The other one, she's paying half on it because she said she's going to have all of it to pay the whole car note, and I'm paying the other one. And the third one is saying we don't have the money right now. So my question was, I was thinking about this. Let's put 2 cars just to go because I can't afford to pay for either one of them. And so it would be a good idea if I just let them move forward and just let it go on one credit.
Repossession on your credit, you co-signed. And then when they sell the car and it doesn't bring what's owed, they're going to come after you for the difference. Yeah, you're going to get sued. You're going to have your credit screwed up. So let's talk about the one car is almost paid off, so it's not a problem, right? Okay, so the second car, the one you paid part of the payment, what is owed on that second car?
One car one is 16,000 on one, and the other one is like 14,000.
Okay, and what are they worth?
Turn right on East Avenue R.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one that's worth 14, or the one you owe 14, what's it worth?
One big value is about almost on that for 10,000. So I'm thinking you got to go back to 10,000. So I get you only worth like 9,000.
Well, just because one guy didn't buy it, that doesn't establish value. But if you could sell the $10,000 car for $10,000 and get the loan, you have to get a loan somewhere for $4,000 to cover the difference. Who are these loans with? Good. Go down to your credit union. Tell them you want to sign a note for the difference before these cars get repoed, and you're going to have $12,000 in debt. You sell an $8,000 car that you owe 16 on. You sell a $10,000 car that you owe 14 on. You're going to have a debt with that credit union, because otherwise they take these cars and they're not going to sell them for 10 and for 8. They're going to sell them for 5 and for 4 at the repo.
Car back to the bank?
No.
Oh, I thought you said you sell it back to the bank.
No, I said you go down to the bank and tell them you want to sign a note for the difference of what the car won't bring. They have a $16,000 loan on a car that's worth 8. You're going to end up with an $8,000 loan at the credit union instead of a $16,000.
Turn left to stay on East Avenue R.
And you sell a car that's worth 10 that you owe 14 on, you're going to end up with a $4,000 loan instead of a $14,000.
Turn left to stay on East Avenue R.
And your kids are going to get about the business of getting their own cars.
Right.
But you get to pay the 8 and the 4 difference, which is going to be 12, because they're not going to come through on that. You and I know that.
Yeah.
This is what you pay. This is called a co-signing fee.
then turn right.
Is that what you're calling it?
I thought that was
No, it's a stupid tax is what it is. When I do something stupid and it costs me money, I call it stupid tax, and the co-signing is stupid.
Turn right to stay on East Avenue.
Yeah, you learned it 3 times over. You thought you were doing something nice and you did the right thing the wrong way. Mm-hmm. You were being kind and sweet and unwise. And you knew you were unwise when you were doing it, but you were too kind and sweet to stop doing it.
Then drop off Romeo on the left.
Next time, be more wise and less sweet.
That's right. Wow.
Well, the truth is, she didn't do the kids any favors either because they've been strapped to this.
That's right. That's right.
You think you're doing somebody a favor and you strap them to something they can't afford, and that's why the bank wouldn't loan them money in the first place.
And everybody feels the strain.
Yeah, Thanksgiving dinner tastes different. So co-signing is so universally stupid. The banks are the most aggressive lenders on the planet. They love to loan money. And if they won't loan somebody money, it really means something that they can't pay it. And instead we step in and we go, oh, it's little Junior, we'll help Junior. And we step up and we co-sign. And Proverbs 17:18 says, one lacking in sense co-signs for another. Wow. The contemporary English version, the CEV of the Bible in 17:18 Proverbs says, if you co-sign for someone else, it's stupid. That's what that version of the Bible says. The Bible called it stupid. So I didn't get mad at God. But yeah, and I co-signed for a guy one time, and I ended up having to pay it. And a guy co-signed for me one time, and he ended up having to pay it because I went bankrupt that time. And I had to go back, pay him back later. It's an awful, awful mess. Don't get into those things. It's a horrible, horrible situation. So poor Val. I feel so sorry for him. It's awful. Hey, guys, things are changing around the Ramsey Show here this week. Back on Monday, we made a move. We have a network app called the Ramsey Network app that you can download for free. You can listen to the whole show on the Ramsey Network app or watch the whole show on the Ramsey Network app, whichever you prefer to do. The last 40 minutes coming up is only on the Ramsey Network app or on Talk Radio as of this week. And so if you're used to getting the entire show on podcast, you can still get the entire show. It's still completely free, but you can only get the last 40 minutes on the network app. You can watch the whole thing, but you can get the last 40 minutes only on the network app. So you YouTube folks, podcast folks out there, you're expecting another 40 minutes. It's there, but it's only over on the Ramsey Network app. You can get it for free. We're not charging for this. It's all free, and it's searchable. You can search it by subject, and you can even send in an email, ask questions. We might answer some Ramsey app questions at some point. So the Ramsey Network app in the App Store or Google Play, completely free, not going to cost you a thing. And Jay, this is exciting. The things that we're putting in this app to help you guys and help you access the information that you're listening for. Mm-hmm. You can listen for 3 days and not get the answer to your question.
Yeah, but if you want to know about car repossessions, you can just Google it in.
And you'll hear Val's call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's going to happen because they do come after you for the deficit.
That's right.
That's right. Case. So, 2 ways to get free app. You can click the link in the show notes, or you can search Ramsey Network in the App Store or Google Play. And again, we're going to be adding lots and lots of tools to this thing in the future. Right now, we have the searchable feature. We have some audio books and some other things dropping in there. We've got all kinds of processes because we're building stuff out where we can deliver to you on this app. It's very inexpensive for us to do, so it's going to be free or inexpensive for you to do. So the last 40 minutes of the show, as of this week, again, on the Ramsey Network app only, or if your talk radio station carries on talk radio, it comes out as over 3 hours. That's what we do. We do a 3-hour talk radio show. But in podcast world, it's going to look like something different. So that's the thing. So you can get you get the full episodes to the Ramsey Show, only the Ramsey Network app. It's very convenient, very easy, and very free. Don't miss it. And again, Jade, the features we're putting in this thing, we're excited about.
I'm really excited. I heard a little birdie talking about a show that one of us is doing that might land in there, so that's really cool.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna.
I don't know which little birdie this was, so I'll have to find out about this birdie. Okay, cool. That might be fun. We could do just a show just on that,
Yeah.
like a specialty show.
Yeah, that you can only watch on the network app.
Okay,
That'd
like
be
on
cool.
a certain subject or something.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
Be special,
Okay.
exclusive, if you will.
Yeah, and completely free. You can't argue with the free part. We have no plans to make it a subscription. It's just a free deal. So go to Ramsey Network and get the app in the App Store or Google Play, and that way you don't miss a thing. And did I mention that it's free? This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, what are you still doing here? You know the rest of the show's happening on the Ramsey Network app, right? So you gotta jump over there to continue watching. You can download it for free. Just go to your app store, type in Ramsey Network. It's completely free, and I'll drop a link in the show notes to make it easy for you. So if you're watching on the app, you're in luck. But if you're watching anywhere else, this show is over for you. So jump onto the app and let the fun continue. All right, go on now. Don't make it weird. Okay, I got nowhere to go, so you need to go. Okay, bye-bye now. All right, this is getting weird over there, guys. Where do we go?
Head to your pickup at 37937 Tomorrow Place.
Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Jay Marshall, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Jade, producer James has requested that we address current events, which we seldom do on this podcast because we never know when you people are going to listen to it. By the time some of you listen to this, it won't be current anymore. But current events are that the stock market has dropped dramatically in the last couple of days, and cue the whining, screaming, and gnashing of teeth that everyone's going to die and we're all going to retire and have to eat Alpo routine. Not good for Democrats if the stock market goes down and fears of a recession are looming. Not good. Economics unseats more administrations than anything else in history. So those of you worried about other things. Anyway, the reason number one, most of the time we just talk about stuff here that you can listen to it 3 years from now and it will still be the same answer, and it helps you all the time. It's called modular or evergreen content. And but anyway, stock market's down, and so far kind of a yawn, except it hadn't been down in a long time. It's been a couple years since y'all have experienced a downturn. Like 20 was pretty dramatic. took a big old dive. There was something going on in March, if I remember, of 20, and the old market took a dive, and the world was coming to an end, and we were all going to die, and then too.
What was it in March 2020?
I don't remember, but it affected my memory. But I've got PTS, Fauci, and so Fauci PTSD. But anyway, here's the deal. If the thing levels out sometime this week, it's not even going to make the top 100 worst days. It's pretty much a yawner. As downturns go, this one's not really exciting. Now, if it continued to dive, you're day over day over day over day, 1,000 points a day for 4 or 5 days, we'd have something to actually discuss. But right now, it's more of your emotions that we want to address. Because why is the stock market going down, Dave? Why is it going down? Well, because the jobs report came out and said jobs suck. Worst hiring quarter in a long, long time. More people unemployed. Nothing like the 80s, nothing like other times when there was real unemployment, but it's actually a downturn there. There's some other indications. The Fed is screwing around again, which is a good way to get a president or a vice president unseated as well. If you want to throw them out, just screw with the interest rates, boys. That'll do it. And so they're gonna screw around with that apparently. And everyone has declared there's a recession. One more time, people, you don't get to declare there's a recession. There's a definition of a recession.
Well, have you heard people say vibe session? Have you heard that?
No.
It's the feeling. It's the vibe that we're in a recession.
You know what? I'll go with that. There is a malaise out there. There is a cloud, a fog, or whatever out there, a vibe session. I'll go with that. But because you can define that as a feeling.
It's a feeling.
But a recession is not a feeling.
You got to go with real numbers.
Recession is an economic fact. Gross domestic product, GDP, is the measure of all goods and services in the U.S. has to contract, be less than 2 quarters in a row what it was
Just
before.
ahead, turn right on Rotella
That
Street.
is the definition. Until it does that, it's not a recession.
That's right.
I don't care. My feels.
Turn
I
right
don't
on
care.
Rotella Street.
If you want to call it a vibe session or whatever, a vibe session.
That's right. Vibe session.
Sounds like a session where we had vibes, but yeah. Like a music. Sounds like an album. But the album cover, an old vinyl from the 70s where drugs were to your parents. So that kind of stuff. Anyway, so, all right, investors are running for the hills. They're selling off crypto and especially tech stocks. So, Bureau of Labor Stats report the U.S. economy added a poor jobs report. AI is still a scare. This article from CNN says recession fears are mounting overall. And so the Fed, and they're worried about the Fed. So AI, the Fed, the jobs report all pour into this idea that things are horrible. And so the stock market is overreacting. And you might add that Iran and Israel might be about to dance. So not going to be good for Iran. I've been to Israel several times. Not a group of people you want to mess with. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. It's got everything screwed up and turned up. And let me tell you about this. Short term, the stock market going up or down is a bunch of drama queens. They run on emotion on a daily basis. Over an annual period or 4 or 5 months, it runs on numbers. But on a day-to-day basis, you can just shout, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And Chicken Little run. So what do you do out there when you see the stock market drop?
I don't do anything.
I'm tempted to buy because I think it's on sale. Please use your seat, but I don't do seat because I don't day trade.
Yeah,
I don't buy and I don't sell based on this growth. Yeah, I just keep buying all the time. Every month I just keep buying.
Just ahead, turn right on Rotella Street.
Gonna load my 401k up. Gonna load my Roth IRA up. Gonna load up my automatic draft on my checking account that goes into the mutual funds.
Turn right on Rotella Street.
And when it goes down, I'm gonna smile because I just bought it on sale. Because 10 years from now, you won't even remember this crap. 10 years from now, you won't even know who was president. You don't have to think about it. Who was president 10 years ago? See, I got you. So anyway, but that's see what I mean? It's just like you get all torqued out about this stuff. You mean there was I remember. Yeah.
Do you even log in and check? If I see this headline, I'm not even checking.
Said we need to talk about the stock market, and I said, what? He goes, don't you watch the news?
Just ahead, turn right on 30th Street. East using the right
Watch
lane.
the news.
I saw somebody post something about it on Instagram, and I was like, okay. But I think that the people who watch their accounts like that, that's where the temptation lies.
Well, that's like a Dr. John Deloney anxiety producing event.
Don't do it.
If you check your accounts every morning, you're a spaz. Okay?
Yeah.
You're gonna spaz out. You are asking. It's not a hobby. That's just weird. I don't even look at. I look at mine once, twice a year.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing some kind of year-end final, I'll say, okay, how did it do compared to the other indexes this year? Do I need to move anything?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just, for 35 or 40 years, I have put money in, taken almost no money out. And there's a lot of money in there.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, Dave, because we both said, I'm the type of person, I set my 401k contributions. I set, all my contributions, they're set. They happen automatically. I'm not thinking about it. But for somebody who might say, well, Dave, is now a good time for me to throw in some extra money? I'm at 15%. Can I go in with a lump sum and buy more?
Turn left,
No.
then drop off Darlene.
Just because you don't want to build up the muscle of day trading and timing, you don't want to try to time the market. All the data, all the research tells us people who try to time the market make less money than people who steadily invest. There's like 15 or 20 serious research projects that reveal mathematically, if you steadily invest over a 10-year period of time, trying to jump in, trying to jump out, trying to catch it, trying to make it, you screw yourself by dancing with the devil. Don't do it. This is the Ramsey Show. You've been gazelling. You've eaten more beans and rice than you knew existed, and now you're ready to make your biggest investment better. Blinds.com is a great way to dress up a room or your entire home. Whether you're comfortable with do-it-yourself projects or you don't even know what a Phillips head screwdriver is, well, trust Blinds.com to take care of you like Ramsey would. You can do the measuring and installation yourself, or you can let Blinds.com's professionals handle everything for you. Blinds.com offers a completely hassle-free experience on them to deliver stylish window treatments from premium brands without the premium markup. You'll never have to deal with pushy salespeople in your home just to get a quote. But you can count on free shipping, free samples, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee so that you can rest easy. That's why we've recommended Blinds.com for over 10 years. Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 45% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Javier is with us in Salt Lake City. Hi, Javier. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So the first question is my mom took out a bunch of loans in my name. She's making minimum payments, but I'm trying to kind of get this whole thing sorted out of my name. How would you suggest that I approach her, the situation as a whole?
How old are you?
27.
When did all this happen, huh?
It started back in 22. I want to say 21, 22. It was after my divorce. So I was kind of just starting caution a little bit and just saying yes to everything.
Oh, so you agreed to her doing this?
Yes. It all started because the landlord wanted to sell the house that I grew up in, that she's currently living in, and she offered us a pretty good deal, and my brother and I, we bought the house together for my mom, and now she's struggling to make the payments, and I'm just waiting for the day that they're going to call, hey, your payment's due, and my wife and I, we can't afford the payment ourselves, so I just don't know what to do.
bought the house together for your mom.
And then she took out credit card loans in your name, all with your permission.
Yes, sir.
So whose name is on the mortgage? Yours?
Yes, sir.
And she's living but she's living in the house.
Yes.
Rent free.
And the house, the property is titled to you as well, correct?
Correct. She's paying the mortgage. It's just that her credit was too poor to actually take the loan out herself.
So going back to the other debt, the other loan, how much money are we talking about on the credit cards?
Shy of $20,000.
And what does your mom make a year?
She's self-employed. She won't really give me a straight answer.
If you had to guess, what would you say?
Not much. She doesn't work much. She sucks blood off of her sons. Okay. She's a parasite. It's a horrible thing to say about your mother. I'm so sorry. Just an observation.
What's your living situation?
I am currently living in an apartment in Utah, and the house is in another state.
Yeah. All right. And your wife is not happy with this situation, I would assume.
She is not really not about it.
Okay. Okay. And how old is mom? 55?
Ballpark.
Yeah. Okay. So, and what is the house worth that she's living in?
I would say $350 to $400.
And what do you owe on it?
I want to say $220, $250. I don't honestly know.
Yeah.
Is your brother also on the mortgage?
Yes, my brother's on the mortgage as well.
And on the deed as well. Yeah. Okay.
So if you guys
What's your brother saying about all this?
My brother wants to keep the house, and he's just happy to go along because he wants to keep it for sentimental value. I personally agree with your team that it's just a house. We can get another one.
Yeah, so what would I do if I woke up in your shoes? This is going to be what is called a difficult conversation, my friend. Your mom has gotten away with this misbehavior, underproducing, and unbelievable asks of her grown sons rather than taking care of herself. A 55-year-old woman ought to be able to build a sustainable life without sucking the blood off of her children. Okay? Or man, for that matter. Okay? So, this is not positive. Your mom is not in a good situation mentally and spiritually. Because otherwise she wouldn't have done this to her own kids. And, of course, you all aren't because you allowed it to happen. Oh, no, you straight up endorsed it. So, what I would do if I woke up in your shoes is I would go, how long ago did you get married?
My wife and I got married a month ago.
Okay. This is gonna come down on your wife if you're not real careful from your mother. Your mother's gonna blame her because she's the new thing on the scene, and about that time you evict your mom. So she's gonna end up blaming your wife if you're not real careful. So your wife does not need to be anywhere near this conversation, nor do you quote her, nor do you even bring her up. She's not physically in the room. She's nowhere around. It's not her fault. Okay? So you need to travel with your brother and sit down with your mom and say, guys, I can't do this anymore. I'm looking at the future, 10 years into the future, and all I see is pain and trouble. There's a problem here. You're ruining my credit. I'm waiting for the phone call when you don't pay the mortgage. And so what we're going to do is we're going to sell the house. We're going to pay all the debt off, and we're going to pay the taxes associated with selling the house if there are any. There shouldn't. No, there will be because it's not a personal residence. You may have some capital gains on this, so you pay your taxes, and then you say, as for my half of what is left over equity, Mom, I'm going to give that to you as a parting gift, and you can go set yourself up a life with that. And I'm not going to do anything anymore in the future. That's it. Brother, you can do with your half whatever you choose to do. If you want to help Mom get a house with that, that's fine. I'm done. We're selling the house. We're paying off the credit cards, and I'll give you my half of what's left over after that, after taxes.
Do you anticipate your brother holding up that process? Or do you think that he'll go along with it?
I think he would hold it up because he's not big on Ramsey. I found you guys because I found your book, Breaking Free Rogue.
Well, I mean, forget about the Ramsey part, just the idea of you cleaning this up because it's very messy.
That's nothing to do with Ramsey. It's got to do with your mother screwing her own kids over.
Yeah. I honestly think he would not go along with it because he's seeing it as an investment on his...
That he can buy you out. He can buy you out. That's another option. But, honey, we're selling the house. If he doesn't want to sell the house, then it's going to be a civil court action, and the judge is going to demand that the partnership be dissolved by the selling of the house. We're selling the house.
In the way,
I'm not asking, we're telling you this is what we're doing.
In the
now,
way
if
you
you want to buy me out, that's okay.
The way you need to think of this is saving your marriage, by the way.
Yeah.
Because your wife is not going to sit around and let your mom be the reason that she's not in her new house. You guys are in an apartment. You've been married for a month. If this messes around and causes you guys the future that she's envisioned, you're going to have a much bigger problem on your hands.
Mom, I love you, and I've done more for you than I should have, and I put myself and my future family in jeopardy because of you. And you continue to misbehave with this. My bills are not being paid. You're destroying my credit and my future. We're selling the house. Little brother, if you don't want to sell it, you can buy me out. You got 10 minutes. Ready, set, go. You're on the clock. Okay? Because your little brother's codependent, like you were, until something woke you up. And again, this has got nothing to do with Ramsey. Don't you blame it on your ex, don't you blame it on your new wife, and don't you blame it on Ramsey. It's not Ramsey. This is you stood up. I'm a 27-year-old freaking man with a backbone, and this is madness, and the madness ends. It's not a sign of love to continue in codependency. This is not an act of love. There's no love in this discussion. You can be kind, gentle, you don't have to be yelling and screaming, but we are selling the house. You can either do it voluntarily, or I'll have a judge make you sell the house. We are selling the house. So y'all get your heads around that. Whatever flopping in the floor and foaming at the mouth you need to do, but get your heads around that. We are selling the house. It's not an option. The only other option is, brother, you buy me out, or mom, you'll buy me out. Get me off the mortgage and pay off all the credit cards. And you got to do that in 90 days, and you got to ready, set, go. And if you're not going to do that, we are selling the house. The best thing for mom, by the way, is sell the house.
Yes,
put some money in her pocket. Tell her to get a freaking job. Self-employed for her is code for I don't work much. That's what that is. It's code. This is the Ramsey Show. Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country, and they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started. Jade Washout, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. The $12 sale is here through August 31st at RamseySolutions.com in the store. $12 books help you raise money, smart kids. That's right, the Smart Money, Smart Kids #1 bestseller by Rachel Cruz and me. On sale for $12. $12 books help you get out of debt, build wealth. That's right. Baby Steps Millionaires. That's right. And of course, you can get The Total Money Makeover, $12. $12 books help you build a peaceful and joyful life. Dr. John Deloney walks you through the 6 daily choices you need to make and build a more peaceful life, building a non-anxious life. $12 resources help you find work that really matters, like Ken Coleman's book, Paycheck to Purpose. All of these amazing deals, RamseySolutions.com/sale. Mac is in Seattle. Hey, Mac, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
How you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So, I am currently a business analyst. I work remote, and I'm 28 years old. I have a fear of sooner or later becoming unmarketable, make a decent wage, but I'm basically working off a bachelor's degree. And so, I'm trying to decide if it's worth taking the student loan out to also cut time from my current job to either go back in MBA or an MBA adjacent, or completely do like a career shift into something that is a little bit more desirable, a little bit more fulfilling, but might even be a dip in terms of my compensation, or who knows what the career would bring with that. It's kind of a question of, do I continue to do something I'm good at, but not necessarily something I'm stoked about, or do I kind of mix between doing that with an MBA, or completely shift, take the time now to shift into something completely different for the rest of my life, but also taking the financial risk with that.
Well, I'm definitely not interested in you going into debt to further the education. And I'm certainly not interested in you going into debt for a job that you're not even really stoked about, right? So that's the first thought. My second thought is, what would be the other thing that you would do that might, bring less money, but you're happy you're doing it? What do you have in mind when you say that?
So for the longest time, I've wanted to be an architect, but I know that market is a bit saturated. It takes a lot of credentialing to eventually get to a point where you can make a decent bit of a wage and have a good, healthy income.
Okay, stop. You're making decisions based on a wrong assumption. Here's the wrong assumption you're making: that degrees or credentialing cause people to be successful. Nope, they don't. Degrees put tools in the belts of people who are going to go leave the cave, kill something, and bring it home. Credentialing puts tools in your belt. And so the reason some lawyers are successful and some aren't is not because of law school. It's not because of passing the bar. It's because they chose to get it. They chose to get out in the market and climb and grow and be ambitious and read and continue their own growth curve and approach it. And so the reason some architects, anytime I hear the market's saturated, I just think of lawyers. They're freaking everywhere. God, we can't get rid of them. They're like roaches. They're everywhere. Yeah, and yet some of them make $500 an hour. It's killing me. Same thing's true with architects. There's always somebody that gets better at their job, continues. There's other people can't seem to find what job making a living as a CAD supervisor, and they've got an architectural degree. But that's got to do with the person, not the degree, and not the space, and not the credentialing. I've been podcasting, for God's sakes. Who's got a podcast? Every human on the planet has a podcast. You know what's causes this to be one of the top 5 podcasts in the entire world?
Then turn left on East
Nothing to do with credentialing, buddy. I'll tell you that. Nothing to do with my dadgum degree. Nobody even asked what my degree is. I got a PhD in DUMB. So, what I want you to do is figure out what you want to do with your life and go be the very best at that.
Using the left
If you
lane,
need to
turn
put
left
some
on East
tools in
Palmdale
your
Boulevard.
belt, fine. But don't sit at home doing remote work worrying about the marketplace. The marketplace is always going to kick you in the stomach if you suck, and the marketplace is always going to fill your wallet if you're awesome.
I think that we need to make sure you leave here. Ken Coleman has a really great book, Find the Work You're Wired to Do. And inside of it, there's an assessment that you can take. And I think it's really going to help you figure out what it is that you want to do. And then the book is going to help you walk through the results of your assessment so you can really narrow in and hone into what it is that you want to do. Because here's the thing. I don't want you going off spending a bunch of money when you have a bunch of question marks,
Exactly.
right? So
and I do want you to go get an MBA if it's part of the tools for your belt. It's an excellent degree field. It's a horrible degree field for somebody that doesn't want to be in business, that wants to be an architect. So it would be a bad idea, don't do that. But hey, and business analyst with an undergrad, man, I got a friend of mine, is a 42-year-old guy. He's great, a 43-year-old guy. Made $250 last year. He's got an undergrad. Got an undergrad in finance. He's a business analyst. And he's, but he's really good at it. And he works really hard, and he's good with people, and he has common sense insights when he's doing his analysis, not just crunching numbers like some broke finance professor. So, that's the trick, man. Don't believe this lie that because I got a degree, I'm guaranteed something, or because I go get another one, that's going to be what opens the door to a fully saturated market. No,
you got to add the secret sauce to it.
No. Parents teach your children that the cause of their success is them. Teach them to stand up straight, bathe regularly, shake a hand and smile, and brush your teeth.
You gotta bathe.
And don't send your mother on your job interview. Teach your children to have some moxie, some confidence. Teach them to do hard things and scary things, and teach them to persevere when they get a little bit scared, not collapse in the floor. Teach them to have some skeletal structure to their character, and to believe in God who loves them and is bigger than them and will carry them through when they don't think they can get through. Teach them these things and then let them get a degree. But quit worshiping it, not picking on you, Mac, but it's everybody out there. Quit worshiping at the altar of where somebody went to school. Nobody gives a crap where you went to school. Nobody ever asked their oncologist right after they got a cancer diagnosis, now, where'd you go to school? Nobody ever said that, ever. How many of you even asked your divorce attorney where he went to school? You didn't care. You just went, get me out of this. All you care is, did they do their job? Do they know what they're doing? And all you care is, did you put the tools in your belt while you were studying? Nobody has asked my GPA ever once since I left school. 40 freaking years I've been waiting for somebody to ask for my
No
GPA.
one has ever asked me for my degree. I don't even know where it's at. You know how some people have
you mean the little diploma?
The little paper that people put in a frame and put behind their Zoom?
Man, I got mine like framed.
Did you?
Yeah, I was so proud because I just barely got out.
I got out okay, but no one cared. No one ever asked me about it.
They had that little thing, what do you call it, the graduation ceremony?
Did you walk? You didn't walk?
I walked to work. I was working that day because I was hungry. The idea of spending money and taking a day off from work when I had $1.67 in my checking account, that's what I walked.
That's not true.
No, oh man.
In a quarter mile turn
oddly enough though, my son graduated from business college. I got a degree, Daniel, several years, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whatever it was, at the University of Tennessee, same business school I did, and they let me do the commencement exercise.
That is a full circle moment.
So I got to walk.
That is very, very full circle.
And I went up there like a academic type person or something with all the little hats and stuff. It was pretty cool.
I had a full circle moment like that when I graduated with a music degree. The first cruise line I auditioned for to be a vocalist, I didn't get through the audition. But when we became talent agents, they were the first agency that we signed as working. And so I was like, wow, this is a full circle moment. I don't know if you realize this, but when I auditioned, you said
I wasn't
no.
good enough to sing for you, but I'll hire all your singers.
That's
There
right.
we go.
They'll remain nameless for now.
It sounds like something Cruise shout.
Yeah.
Cruise Line Inc.
Yeah, that's right.
This is the Ramsey Show.
Pick up Yesenia.
The robots have gotten pretty good at what they do, but they can't give an item a human touch. On Etsy, you can find something handmade, hand-picked, or designed by independent sellers who bring their whole hearts to their small businesses. Discover hand-blown glassware, reclaimed furniture, personalized jewelry, hand-picked vintage pieces, custom-designed artwork, and so much more. So the next time you're shopping for yourself or someone special, choose extraordinary items from small businesses. Keep commerce human. Discover small businesses on Etsy.
Hey guys, here's a quick math refresher.
Enter your
There are
drop-off
only
at
24 hours
4305
in a day.
Target.
So you and your team need to streamline time-consuming tasks to focus on the activities that actually make money. Smart businesses are realizing that to reduce headaches
Just ahead, turn
as
right
they
on
scale,
20th Street
they
East.
need NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one platform. With NetSuite, you reduce IT costs because NetSuite is cloud-based. You cut the cost of maintaining multiple systems because you've got one source of truth. And you improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform, slashing manual tasks and errors. So join the 37,000 plus companies, including Ramsey Solutions, that have done the math and are boosting their efficiency with NetSuite. And right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to drive the right behaviors for your business absolutely free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey to get your free KPI checklist. Jade Washaw Ramsey, personality #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Sarah is in Atlanta. Hi, Sarah. How can we help?
Hey, y'all. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for taking my call. My husband and I, we have 3 small children. We have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And in January of this year, our 4-year-old got diagnosed with leukemia. And so he's actually doing super well. So, it's not been quite as bad as we thought. But I'm calling because my husband and I are wondering if we should pause our baby steps and just save money, or if we should go ahead and continue with the baby steps.
Definitely pause and save money. What baby step are you on? 2?
We're on baby step number 2. We only have $7,000 left on a car, and we could actually pay it off today. It would just be kind of a big hit to our savings account.
How much is in your savings?
We have about $11,000, thanks to our community raising money for us when he got diagnosed.
What's the prognosis? Is it a situation where you're going to go through this line of treatment and then everything should be good on the other side? Do you have a timeline in mind? It sounds like you do.
Yeah, so he, for most leukemias, it's 3 years of treatment, but the first 8 months are extremely hard. We're actually right at the end of that. 8 months, he went back to school today, which was super exciting. I know, it was great. And we're super blessed. We got something called Katie Beckett Medicaid, if you're familiar with that. It's a type of Medicaid that for families that make more than the Medicaid limit, and it'll come behind like a child and will cover the 20% that your insurance won't cover. So we're actually not looking at massive medical bills. The scary part is that at any point you could get an infection and we could be in the hospital for 10 plus days, and I just may have to take FMLA.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we're doing. My husband and I net about $100,000.
How much of that is you?
I make about $60,000 of that. With the gross, obviously for bonus, but.
Not number 1, Jade's right. The very first, and you've already done this. And
In a quarter mile, turn left on East Avenue South using the left 2 lanes.
we got grandbabies. There's job 1, beat leukemia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No other job. Total focus. Okay. Job 1. If there's any crumbs left in our
Turn
lives,
left on East Avenue
emotionally, spiritually, financially, after we do job 1, we can talk about doing other stuff. But it's only if there's crumbs left. Okay. So I would never, personally, nor would I ever recommend you do anything except beat cancer. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds like you're entering the 2nd season, which is lighter by your explanation. I don't know anything about that, but I'm going off of your explanation. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
And this is more of a you've gone from very intense to maintenance, if you will. I'm using layman's terms. I have no idea what I'm talking about. That's what I think I'm hearing. Is that right?
Yes, it's actually called maintenance. So
Wow. Stumbled into it. Who knew? Okay. And so, it's not, in other words, we've kind of gotten past the panic that when you say that C word over my child. And then we've also now gotten the other side of the tough medical 8 months of hell. And now we're going to put the finishing touches on the death of cancer, right? But that's going to be a little more gradual. We've gone from a sprint to a marathon. Are these metaphors working at all?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to understand. I want to make sure I understand. Yeah. So what I want to say is, what we always say is, when you're facing a storm, stop your baby steps. Stop your total money makeover and address the storm. And so what you and your husband have got to decide is, mathematically, financially, a month from now, 2 months from now, with the 8-month period in the rear view mirror, do we feel like we're out of the storm? It's still raining, but the wind quit blowing and the lightning quit crashing. Or do we feel like we're in a predictable, sustainable environment where we feel safe to go ahead and pay off the car, safe to resume our financial plan without putting the cancer treatment process in jeopardy at all?
Yeah.
That's the way I'd look at it.
Okay.
When you feel safe. Yeah, when you feel safe, then you do again. So like if you lose your job, which is nothing in compared to what you're doing, but it's still a thing. Once you get the new job and you get a paycheck, you push play again and you go. You're the other side of the unemployment storm, right? Once you have a child, a pregnancy, it's not in the same bucket emotionally, but it is still a situation where we stop, we pile up money, mommy and baby come home, we push play again. So when we get the event, the situation, no matter how scary or negative or positive it is, in our rear view mirror, then we push play and we go. But we don't try to we don't take it down to $1,000 and try to beat cancer in a 4-year-old.
No, that's just stressful. Okay. That feels stressful.
Yeah, I think, it's just we've had some stints where he's gotten an infection and we've been in the hospital for a long time, and we've both worked through it, like working from the hospital. It's very hard emotionally.
Well, you're probably going to do that anyway because you want to just keep careers, you want to keep life moving. But that's not got to do with hitting the total money makeover baby step goal. That's just got to do with, we just got to keep this thing rolling. We got to keep the wheels on the bus,
Well, yeah, that's a different posture when you're working, because you need you need to keep working versus there's no money in the account if I don't work, we won't be able to pay the bill. That's a whole different level of stress.
How many of those trips has he had?
When we first got diagnosed.
No, the infection trip.
Only one so far. Yeah, so hopefully.
So it's the only cloud. It's the worst cloud still hanging over the situation. Other than we know we've got some discomfort, but nothing like we've had before going forward, right?
Yes. No, he's like 99% prognosis.
That's so
that's great.
It's honestly when you live in the hospital as much as we do, you realize how lucky you are when this is all you're facing.
So we've got a lady here named Sean that came into my office 17 years ago, or 14, 15 years ago, and said, my 3-year-old has leukemia. And she worked in accounting, and you can't do accounting. Your brain doesn't work. So anyway, we paid her through all of it. And the ladies took care of meals, and the guys took care of keeping the grass cut. And then pretty soon we had a little bald-headed 3-year-old running around the office, and we're celebrating with her. And the other day we gave away Ramsey scholarships, and she walked across the stage and gave me a hug. I graduated from high school, and I got to take a picture with her the other day. So there is a good ending to these stories.
Yeah, we have so much hope, and we have such a good community too. That makes all the difference.
We can hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
You really can. You're very joyful, and
attitude's everything.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it. So, hey, we're with you. If you need any more help, you call us back. But I just use good common sense. take care of baby first, and then once we're clear of the storm, don't let the worries of the world keep you from going and winning what might be, but use good wisdom, okay?
Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless you, sir. Wow.
That's a good differential, Dave, because in her case, yeah, this has the ability to be a 3-year stint, but it's not.
It had two seasons.
That's right. So thinking through, okay, do I need to truly be paused for 3 years, or is there a point where I can
I'm okay
say,
if you are.
If you are, yes. But in her case, it seems like there might be a point before that where they can
Making
put a foot on the
$100,000,
gas
they got
again.
some money in the bank.
Yeah.
They're only $7,000 away.
Yeah.
Not $107,000 away. You know, it'd be nice to have that car payment gone while they're doing this.
I'm sure.
And it'd be nice to have that stability. And so, and guys, just remember, if you have an emergency come up and you have zero debt and $25,000 in the bank for an emergency fund, sometimes, not that kind of emergency, but some emergencies are a mere inconvenience. The drama starts to leave your life when you get your crap together.
That's right.
Hello. So that's what these calls remind me of. She's a hero. What a great mom.
Wonderful.
Wow. This is the Ramsey Show.
In a quarter mile, turn right on 10th Avenue.
Before we get to the next caller, I got some good news for you. Even when this portion of today's show runs out of time, there's still plenty more for you to tune into. Just head on over to the Ramsey Network app to finish today's show for free. Right there on the home screen.
Turn right
And
on 10th Avenue.
if you
Then
don't
turn
have
left
the
on
app,
Cinema
just search
Street.
Ramsey Network in the App Store, Google Play Store, or click the link in the show notes for an easy download. You never know what call's coming up next. So finish today's episode in the Ramsey Network app today.
Turn left on Sinaloa Street.
Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show. We help people build
Just
wealth,
ahead, turn right on
do
Tornado
work
Court.
that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jay Washaw, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Tyler's in Orlando. Hi, Tyler. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Drop
How are
off,
you?
yes,
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, I have a question about a real estate deal that I did with one of my friends.
Okay.
Alright, so I gave him
Head to your pickup at
$9,000 back
37160 47th Street East.
and
The organization that booked this trip can see these messages. Don't enter any sensitive or personal
for a
info.
house that he bought, and he was supposed
Message
to
from
pay me
trip
back
coordinator.
by
Black shirt, red
January
pants, contact writer upon
14th,
arrival.
and
725-244-8609.
back in
Just
January.
ahead, turn right on Penta Avenue.
And then he showed me a picture of the bank account with all the money. Then I gave him
Turn right on Penta
$1,000 more,
Avenue.
and
Then
he
turn
bought
left on
another house.
45th Street
He did
East.
a 1035 exchange to another house, and then he was supposed to pay me back, I think $25K plus some extra for the taxes, and that was
Turn
supposed
left
to
on 45th
be due
Street
in
East.
April. He's giving me $2,500 back out of the. Right now, as of now, he owes me $29,500. I have it all in the contract and in writing, and today's the date. I actually made a new contract last month and said that he owes me the full amount, $29,500, by August 5th, which is today. And if he doesn't pay me back that, then he has to pay for all the court fees, attorney fees, and $1,000 extra per month in interest.
Okay. Why has he not paid you?
I don't know. I mean,
Did the house sell?
No, he said he always says that it's gonna sell.
The house hasn't sold, so
He
he
doesn't
doesn't have
make
any
any money. Yeah.
Do you think contracts magically make him have money?
No.
He doesn't have any money. That's why he's borrowing from someone like you.
Yeah.
Have you seen the properties?
Yes, I have. And right now.
So the first one sold, right?
He said it did, but it didn't.
Okay. Was the first one ever rented?
Did he ever rent it
In
out?
a quarter mile, turn right on East Avenue South.
Income?
No.
Then it is not involved in a 1031. Only income producing property can be in a 1031. Flips do not qualify for a 1031. So he didn't, and besides that, if it didn't sell, he can't roll it into the other house. So that 1031 tax deferred exchange did not
Turn right
occur.
on East Avenue South.
Okay. So basically, he owns two houses right now, neither one of which have sold.
Yeah.
And how old are you?
23.
And how old is he?
Maybe 30-ish.
Okay. And why did you think this was going to work?
I mean, I was skeptical of it, but I mean, I had the contract, so I wasn't like too worried about losing money.
In a quarter mile, turn right.
Well, you're learning a very harsh lesson that I learned early in business, and that is that contracts don't make bad deals good. Contracts are simply pieces of paper that say what happens when everything blows up and melts down. They don't make bad people good, and they don't make bad deals good, and they don't make money appear on the scene that's not there. But I have a contract is never a defense for getting into a really stupid deal. So you might end up spending $30,000. So the other house, you probably lost your money. But anyway, let's play it through. The current property that we're waiting on both of them to sell, right?
Yes, sir.
Do either one of them have $29,000 worth of equity?
On the right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess if I were in your shoes, I would try this. I think this will be much more successful than suing on a contract, because that's a 3-year process. It's going to cost you $15,000, $20,000 in legal fees. Right now, you've got $2,500 of your $9,000 back. So right now, you're only bit to the tune of $6,500, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that might be the most expensive tuition that a 23-year-old's paid lately. But if you pay tuition to the School of Life and that's all you pay instead of $65,000, it's not too bad. But let's see if we can salvage this. It doesn't sound like he's a liar, except about the part on the house, the first house selling in the 1031. It sounds like he's a neophyte, doesn't know what the crap he's doing. He took some TikTok thing on how to buy real estate. And I kind of know that because he got a 23-year-old as his financier who came up with a whole 10 grand, okay? This is not like a high roller here that's got an ultimate real estate experience. So I think he's just dumb, is what I'm saying, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think he's evil.
Yeah, I bet if the house is sold, you would have had your money.
Yeah, I think he hoped the house would sell and you'd have your money. And you were naive, that's being kind, to think that a contract was suddenly going to make sure that money appeared. Contracts don't do that. He has no money, dude, until the house sells. So why don't you go to him and say, instead of suing you, my financial advisor suggested that I take a second mortgage lien on your property and that you sign a lien for $30,000 on both properties. So now you have a $60,000 position. If he doesn't, and put terms to that has to be paid on sale. Within 6 months, whichever is first, and he can go refinance and buy you out. Okay.
Okay, I'm right in front.
Now, if he does not, then you don't have to. You don't have to sue. You merely have to foreclose. Foreclosure is a lot cheaper and more efficient than a lawsuit. So go to him and say, instead of suing you, and instead of you and me going to court and all this, I'm waiting on the house to sell. You're waiting on the house to sell. I'm either going to sue you this week, or you're going to give me a second mortgage lien for $30,000 on both properties, and then you don't have to worry. Whenever you get your money, you release the other property. But whichever one sells first, you get your money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And don't do this again.
They sell it at the wholesalers downtown in there.
If you get out by the skin of your teeth, don't act like you're a pro. You just lucked freaking out if you get out of this deal. This is a deal where you deserved to lose $9,000. If you get out and don't get what you deserve, you can buy the t-shirt better than I deserve and learn your lesson and move on.
Why you put some on?
He'll be lucky.
You put some on?
I have done so
No, I
many
mean,
stupid
like,
things that
is
I
it like-
deserved.
No, I thought you.
So I can say that to you, son.
No, I was like, I didn't know you put some on because you gave it to me so
On the
fast.
thin ice. Please, crack. I want to be wet.
But he had a contract.
I know.
Just joking.
Ice promised me it wouldn't crack. Yeah.
Is what I've been looking for.
Oh boy. Yeah, when you're doing business with broke people, please expect them to do broke people things.
What kind of
We
is it?
know the guy is broke because he borrowed $9,000 from a 23-year-old.
Who knows if these properties are going to sell for what they
I
and
have no
if
idea.
there's even going to be any profit.
No idea, but it'd be fun to foreclose
super
on and
hit?
see if you really
I don't know if you know it, but
that might be interesting.
super hit.
This is the
I don't
Ramsey
have
show.
one. I was gonna bring one, but I didn't know. I didn't. And the other one
In
that
a quarter mile, turn right on Hillcrest Drive.
I burned two different ones: the Nike Champa and super hit.
So, George, we talk a
Turn
lot
right on
about
Hillcrest Drive.
identity theft, and we take calls from people that do, but yours actually got stolen.
Well, don't say it with that much happiness, Dave. It's true. Gosh, I do not recommend it if you can avoid it at all
Is there
costs.
very
And that's when I was much younger. I had worse hair and a negative net worth. But I worked at Ramsey at the time, and so I was covered by Xander ID theft protection. So thanks, Dave, for covering all this.
Absolutely. Well, one thing, Sander helps us do that, so it's a great benefit for the team, but it's a great benefit for everybody because Jeff Sander and I have been
But the
working
one I
together
like the
for,
most is the
gosh,
super
25
hit.
years. We've been doing stuff together since before there was an internet. And so when the internet came on and
So you can
identity
order
theft
them
became this
online.
real serious problem, he and I started talking about it.
Turn right on
We figured
Essex
out how to
Drive.
build an identity theft protection for the Ramsey tribe. That's how the whole thing started at Xander. And it's the most complete because he customized it. He custom built it from the ground up. It's the most
Dollar Tree
complete
has
and
some too. Dollar Tree
cost-effective
has
protection
this.
out there. It's the best identity theft out there.
Yeah, I was raised by the internet as a millennial, Dave, and it's scary knowing how many websites are out there with my information. So Xander ID Theft, they bundle all the cyber tools I need to protect my identity. They've got VPN encryption, 24/7 customer and recovery services, and even home title monitoring. So even if your ID does get stolen, they help you like they did me by restoring your life back to normal with up to $2 million in protection for stolen funds, which is incredible.
That's a big deal. So, guys, you can't go without ID theft protection in today's world. It's just too going on. There's too many people who have already stolen your identity. It's out there floating around. You've got to
would
have
offer
this
you one to
full
buy, but
recovery
they're, like,
protection.
kinda expensive.
Xander is the best. So Xander.com or call 800-356-4282 for the most complete identity theft protection out there. Xander.com, 800-356-4282.
I can give you the address if you want.
Turn left on 47th Street East.
Oh,
So I've learned so many silly little sayings from other generations because I'm on the air with the cool people around here, and I learned that like when Biden forgave the student loans, that was sus.
Oh yeah, suspect. Yes,
sus.
sus.
I didn't know what I had to learn what sus was, so there you go. And I learned about FOMO.
FOMO, yes.
Fear of missing out.
That's a real thing.
Apparently motivates people to do really stupid things with money.
Facts.
Sometimes, and other things too.
I did the baby
I'm going to give you a
powder
fear of missing
once,
out,
but I got
and it's
so
not a
tired
stupid
so
thing to do with money, and you should
Because
not be
I do
doing
like,
it if it is a
the
stupid thing.
vaporizer.
I'll help you with this.
Where they have like
Live
this.
like no one else
You put water and
cruise is
vapor
almost sold out.
and the oil, and then
We have the
vapor comes
entire
out.
ship on Holland America, March 22nd through the 29th. the Jade Warshaw will be with us. All of the Ramsey personalities will be with us. Sharon, my wife, and I will be on there for the entire 7-day cruise. Plus Stephen Curtis Chapman, who not only is Emmy Award winning, 67 Doves or something like that, but last week Stephen got inducted into the Grand Ole Opry.
That's great.
Yeah, he was telling me about it. He was at the house Monday night with a bunch of guys, and he was last week, and just tears in his eyes. It was a huge honor for him because he grew up, of course, singing country music, and he's one of the world's best renowned Christian artists, as you know. And so, anyway, we're going to Turks and Caicos, St. Thomas, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas. We'll be doing events and things and performances and talks and whatever else you want to call it on the ship the entire week. It's going to be a blast. It's almost gone. You can still get a room, a stateroom, but you need to get your deposit of $600 down before the cabins are gone. You don't have to pay for the whole thing up front, but you don't need to go on the Live Like No One Else cruise unless you are baby step 4 and beyond.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't tell people to go on vacations when they're in 1 through 3, and that includes vacationing with us.
I heard George was going to be bouncing at the doorways.
Bouncing what?
You know, the bouncing.
Ball? He can't bounce it.
George was going to be security
George
checking.
Kid bounced. He's not. Was he at the daycare?
Checking baby steps cards.
Where's he gonna be a bouncer? Where's George gonna be? That's not even funny, y'all. That's just insulting. Oh man. So hey, this is a chance for you to celebrate your process through the baby steps, a milestone in getting to baby step 4 or beyond, maybe 7. Maybe you should do your debt-free scream with us. Maybe could be the world's largest debt-free scream at sea. Because if it's the only debt-free scream at sea, it by definition is the largest debt-free scream at sea. So we're going to do that for sure. But maybe we need to get the Guinness Book and give them a room or something on there. So RamseySolutions.com/cruise. Get signed up. We'd love to have you go with us. Matt is in New York. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Doing great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So just a quick question. I'm getting married next year. Full-time career in the military and 2 part-time jobs. IRA and
turn right on Barrel Springs.
100. Looking to see how much you suggest I put into it, either on a monthly basis or an annual basis. Being that I'm also trying to save up for a home as well.
Good for you. Are you debt free?
Thank you. Yes, I am.
Good for you. How old are you?
Turn right on Barrel Springs Road.
I'm 24.
Thanks for serving your country, sir.
Thank you for your support. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so if I'm you've already paid off your debt. Do you have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up?
Yes, I do. I have about maybe 85 to 9,500 saved up.
Okay, good. So yeah, officially you're in 3B or 4, whichever one you choose. And what I would do, so you're investing 15% of. So if that allows you to max out that Roth, I would max out that Roth. Now, most people would say 15% of your income every single month until that's gone. Until you've used up the 15%, until you've maxed it out, right? And then you can move on to another investment vehicle. So do you think you can max it out?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, then yeah.
Because I'm also looking for. I'm definitely.
On 42nd Street East, then turn right on Compost Drive.
I'm trying to find, all sorts of multiple side hustles and everything
you can. Yeah, I heard you say you have 2 other part-time jobs. So you max out this Roth. What other things do you have available to you through the military that you can put money into?
TSP.
TSP, thrift savings plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would, what we want you to do at baby step 3B. 3B is saving for a house and or investing for obviously, the more you put into retirement, the less you'll have to save towards a house. Agreed? Of household income, your total income until you're married. Once you're married, the total income of the household needs to go into retirement, a maximum of 15%. Some people back the 15% down until they get their down payment saved. Some of them do the whole 15%. We suggest not doing more than 15% at this stage. instead put it all toward the rest of everything else towards the house. But if you want to do 10% or you want to do the Roth and that represents 8%, I don't know what your income is and all that. But whatever you guys want to do, and then start saving towards that house. That's
I couldn't
great.
see any
Paying for
houses.
the wedding.
The mountains. I was going to tell you I like this place, but I didn't see any houses.
Actually, our parents offered to help us immensely, but my fiance and I
They got to bring you
the
water.
we would feel personally more accomplished if it was paid ourselves. So we are
What's the budget?
The propane has to
we're looking at about
But they're not running out.
Is that money already saved?
Because I met the guy where he had the cylinder.
and a joint account as of now.
Okay. No more joint accounts until you're married, except the wedding fund. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly.
And no buy a house for somebody you're not married to.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
I'm curious why you felt like you should not have mom and dad pay for the wedding. That's a traditional thing. It doesn't mean you're like a deadbeat if your father-in-law pays for the wedding.
No, absolutely. I mean, and they personal being that I paid for something myself. I saved up and I paid for something myself.
How'd they take it when you told them? Were they a little disappointed?
They were taken back that we didn't want help, but they're going to wind up giving us a gift in exchange.
Okay. I guess we can use that towards the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the
more pay their student
Well, everybody.
I know everybody's not like anything, but and I paid for both my weddings, and I did not think poorly of my sons-in-law in the least.
No.
I had no expectation that they would do that. That's kind of like and that's what I did, like here's the budget.
Would you have been like, oh man, or would you have been like,
I would have been a little bit taken aback, like he was. I would have been, yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I'm going to give them, oh well, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just,
it's different.
Yeah, there's not an expectation of character, lack of character, folks, if your in-laws pay for your wedding. I just don't say that out loud. I don't think that's true. So, if they don't, there might be something else going on there, though. Sometimes he didn't say that, but if there's a lot of strings attached, you don't want to activate mothers or bridezilla, all that. You don't want them to come out of their cave and all that. There's all kinds of stuff that you might want to do that for. But oh well, okay, cool. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
At Bonds, our experts take pride in bringing you fresh food. They know when to pick and be
I'm wondering if I should take money out of my business account that I'm actually trying to sell because of the divorce and use some of that money to buy things for my primary job. So,
what is your primary job?
I am a school teacher, and tomorrow I go back to school. The kids come back next Tuesday, but I need to buy some supplies for the students to come back to school.
I'm sorry, they don't furnish you supplies for the classroom like they should?
Well, they give me
Which would
$5.
make you every school teacher in America.
Well, yeah, thank you. They give me $5 a student, but I've already spent that. I bought glue sticks and colored pencils and
in a quarter mile, turn left on East Avenue South, crossing the left 2 lanes.
I need paper, hand sanitizers, folders, and journals.
What are you talking about spending?
I'm thinking I need about $200.
What type of business do you have? What's the nature of it?
So in the evenings I run an escape room, but I have to sell it according to the divorce decree. I have to sell it so I can pay back some of the equity that I owe to my soon-to-be ex-husband.
Do you take a payroll from the business?
I don't. It doesn't make enough money, so I run it, and then like it pays for.
Okay, if $200 changes your life, you have other problems.
Well, right now I'm barely finished baby step number one. I've been using your Every Dollar app.
If you have to choose between you eating and buying your children hand sanitizer, you eat.
Okay, I get that.
Okay. And so if if you're down to nothing, if you have no money and $200 is a huge amount to you, where you get it from doesn't matter. It's where you spend it that matters. You don't have the option to be this generous to these students. Contact a local church and ask them to help you if they've got some journals laying around and maybe they've got some hand sanitizer they can give you from the children's ministry and help you fund this, help you get the thing set up without you spending the $200 at Target. And let's go that route, because it sounds like this $200 is a lot of money to you.
Yeah.
And you need to work on the other side of that, and that's the overall income. I think I'm tutoring instead of running a
escape room. Yeah.
Today's question of the day is brought to you by Why Refi. If private student loan debt is taking away your peace of mind and you don't see any way out, you need Why Refi. That's why the letter REFY. They refinance defaulted private student loans. If you have one, they'll refinance it for you. Nobody else will touch it. And they give you a low fixed rate that is built for you on a term that makes it work for you so you can get your loan paid off and get it current. So it's not trashing you every month. Go to refi.com/Ramsey today. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. Might not be in all states.
All right, today's question comes from Nora in Pennsylvania. She says, I've been married for almost 30 years, and my husband and I have adult children. My husband runs his mother's family business. He will inherit the business when she passes, but he says that the business is not going to be mine if anything happens to him. He says his will is going to state that our children will get the business and that he will not be providing for me. Ooh. I've explained to him how upsetting this is and that I shouldn't have to go to my children for help when it is his responsibility to care for me. I live on a fixed income, my adult life as a stay-at-home mom. What can I do to protect myself legally? Wow.
You can't. So you have a marriage problem.
My goodness.
You don't have a legal problem. You're married to a jerk. That's a problem.
Yeah, I thought this question was going in one direction, and then it turned.
And went off into the ditch.
It sure did.
Yeah. So, honey, you need to go see a marriage counselor, and he's not going to go with you because he's right about everything. He doesn't need any help if you ask him. And, of course, everybody else listening to this knows he's the one that needs the help, but you need to go to the marriage counselor, and the marriage counselor is going to explain to you that your marriage is over if you don't get some serious work done on it.
Whew.
That rattling you're hearing under the hood means the engine's about to blow, kiddo. And this does not describe a loving home where the husband is gentle, kind, and serves his wife. I didn't hear anything like that in here. So sad. I'm sorry. But yeah, you need to go see a marriage counselor today. Tell him he ought to go with you, but he won't. And then the marriage counselor will give you words to speak to him that lead to either coming to the table or the end of your marriage. You can't. And after 30 years, he still chooses his mommy.
Wow.
After 30 years, he's still a mama's boy. Old men that are mama's boy are kind of pitiful.
That's the worst.
Mama's boys are pitiful, period, after 4 years old. But old men, mama's boys, seriously pitiful.
Whew. And he's going to be one even after
30
she's gone.
years. That means this guy's in his 50s.
Yeah.
He's an old man, mama's boy. You can title the thumbnail on YouTube.
Old man,
mama's boy. There you go.
I thought to say something. As I was reading it, I thought, okay, this is his mom's family business. It's going to pass to the children. Maybe she didn't want to run the business. You know what I mean? Because there's part of that where it's like, I don't want this responsibility, but it took a hard left turn. Ooh, gracious.
Yeah, mamas, don't let your boys become.
Leave and cleave.
Choose carefully, my darling. Choose carefully. Choose a man who loves his mother from a distance.
That's right.
Mom, I love you. Over there.
Listen, I say that, but when the day comes when my son gets old enough where he has to go over there, I'm going to be sad.
I think it's one of the hardest child developmental things I've ever witnessed as we raised kids. Girls separate from their mom, but boys, when boys stay right there until they separate. When they separate, it's brutal. And it usually comes somewhere around 16 or 17 years old for people that become men.
Oh, man.
But boys who are mama's boy at 50, they never did cut the cord. And so they're still tugging on her apron strings. Mommy, 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 I want the business. Mommy, 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 would you take care of mommy? Mommy, I want to make sure you love me, mommy. Oh, brother, I think I'm going to puke.
Oh, gosh. No, I want my son.
We do have a manhood crisis in this country for sure. Wow. I mean, this is not masculinity. It's not toxic masculinity.
No, this is
just a child.
Yeah, and a control child. Yeah. A very controlling jerk of a child.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. After
and here's
30
the
years.
thing. Nora's husband, if you happen to end up listening to this, if you're not who she says you are,
in a quarter-mile turn,
how screwed up your marriage is that you're this letter to a nationally syndicated show that has hundreds of millions of people downloaded every month. So if you're not this and she sent this in, you got stuff going on, dude. So you still deserve bus tracks over your butt. So we threw you right in front of the bus still. That's what happened.
Maybe he'll write in a letter next.
I hope so. I wish he would just come on the air and let us talk to him. How fun would that be? That would be compelling podcast material. Oh, man. Wow. Ouch.
Yeah,
Here's what's interesting. The number one
pick up Ari
thing that will keep you from building wealth is screwed up relationships.
Bingo. That's so true.
When you can't handle screwed up relationships and put reasonable, gentle, kind, strong boundaries in place and keep the screwed up people at a distance and the right people up close, and you can't function with other humans, you're going to struggle building wealth. Period. This is The Ramsey Show.
Head to your drop-off at 930 East Avenue Q12. Turn right on 25th.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Nathan's in Philadelphia. Hi, Nathan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, dude. Thanks for taking my call. I've listened to your show for a while and never thought I'd call in, but I was kind of a curveball.
Okay, cool. How can we help?
So I have started dating a girl, and I have found out recently that she is close to $150,000 in student debt. For a doctorate degree that she does have, and she's been working for a year with that.
A doctorate degree on what?
Physical therapy.
Okay. So she got a PhD and she's a PT. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So I don't have any debt. I've been kind of proud of it, and I'm finding that
Quarter mile, turn left on East Avenue, using the left lane.
So I'm just trying to figure out how much do I factor that into the way I guess, pursue this relationship, and then two, how do I talk to her about it?
Have you asked her what her philosophy on debt is going forward?
Turn left
Does
on
she
East
plan to
Avenue.
utilize more debt? That sort of thing?
I think that I've made my position somewhat clear as far as, like, I don't like debt. So I haven't straight up asked her how she feels about it going forward.
If I were you, this is just what I would do. I'd want to do a little bit of undercover detective work. So I'd probably ask her a little bit more about her views before I reviewed all of my views, because I would not want her to say something to appease me.
Okay, yeah.
I'd want to know the full business, and then I'd say, well, I feel, and then see where the conversation goes from there.
Okay.
How long have you been dating?
About 4 months.
What do you think? She might be the one?
It's a little early. No, I like her. I feel like her relationship outside of this has been really good, and I appreciate getting to know her. But this one thing, I feel like it's really taking a lot of my fanatic shit a mile and just thinking I'm my day yet. So like I'm trying to figure out if I'm overreacting to the things with our company. I'm assuming, obviously a lot of things that have happened, but
I wouldn't not continue a relationship with somebody because they had debt, but I would not continue with the relationship with someone if they had an opposing view from that point going forward.
Okay.
Yeah, like if she said, "Oh, I hate this," if we ever got together and were married, we would throw everything at it and get it done, like that guy does on the radio. I'd want to do it that way. If she said something like that, she's a keeper, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But if she says, "Oh no, I plan to keep this debt and pass it to my grandchildren. I think debt is wonderful," then she ain't for you.
I think that her expectations of how quickly she can pay this off is different than reality, just based off of what
That's
her
different.
expectations for
That's
lifestyle.
different. The expectations are just information.
And that's a big point of this. What Dave said is so true. A lot of this is information. You got information at some point that informed that debt's a bad idea, living in debt, continue to go into debt's a bad idea. That's information she may not have come across yet, in the way our culture is just telling you car loan, student loan. That's where, so if she comes in contact with the same information that you've got that led to your life change, let her, have that moment as well. And that has to do with all of it, not just the debt, but the reality
I
of the
think what
payoff.
Jade's saying, and I think, Jade, I thought that was really wise. Ask a lot of questions, don't make a lot of statements. And just fish around a little bit, and then you can kind of open it up, because honestly, what you're trying to ascertain, we think, is not whether she has $150,000 in debt. Is that a deal killer? That is not a deal killer, we think. But what is a deal killer is someone who's going to mishandle money and be chaotic and stay in debt the rest of their life. That makes especially for someone like you've told me like 6 times how you hate debt and this has got you stressed out. Can you imagine a whole life of being that stressed? The rest of your life? No, you're not marrying that woman. That's a hell on earth. That'd be awful, especially for you. Now, if someone loves debt and they think just like her, then they can get married and they'd be just fine in their chaos. But so being in agreement and being aligned on money is the number one cause of divorce. And so the inverse of that is true. It's the number one area of happiness for couples that stay together. Because when you agree on money, you are agreeing on your value system. Jesus said your treasure is where your heart is. You're agreeing on your dreams. You're agreeing on your fears. You're agreeing on what stresses you out and what doesn't. And these things matter. Even if you're a spender versus a saver, you can still be aligned on the values of the subject. And I think that's what you've got to fish out. But you need to run like your hair is on fire if this lady intends to stay in debt the rest of her life and she thinks this is wonderful, because it will destroy you, Nathan, especially you, because of the way you outlined this whole thing on the air.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
That's a good differential between the philosophy of how you view money in debt versus just personality characteristics. Like,
exactly.
I tend to be a saver, or I tend to be a spender. But if the philosophy at the core is the same, but we still avoid debt and we still don't go into debt, then you're okay.
Yeah. So, Nathan, if you said, we would say that someone who said, along those lines, okay, I'm not going to date anybody who has debt. So if you want to keep dating me, you got to get out of debt. I would call you a Pharisee.
Yeah.
That's not the right thing. Yeah, you know. But and you made this mess. You figure it out. Well, then I wouldn't want my daughter to marry you.
Right. I agree.
But we did teach our kids that they weren't going to marry anybody who was perfect, and that they aren't, by the way, because they learned early on in the Ramsey house that the axis of the world does not run through the top of their little head. And so the inmates don't run the asylum. That's not how it works at our place. So even when the Grands come to visit Papa Dave, we still have a certain level of
just ahead, turn left on East Avenue.
in the house. So, and yeah. And so that's not, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good, so you be aligned on where we're going and why we're going there.
Absolutely.
That's the big thing, the going forward. You're looking into the future and so you in a sense, there's a lot of things that we do in our lives that are that way, like a job interview. Mm-hmm. Are you a cultural fit?
Right.
Do you align with the values of that organization and what they're trying to accomplish? If they run perpendicular to who you are, then in 20 minutes after you get there, you're going to be going, oh, this is a toxic workplace.
Well, yeah, it does.
It's not toxic. You just joined a group that don't think like you joined.
It does you no favors to change your answer in order to get the thing.
Exactly.
My hero.
So then you're just going to be faking.
Or like you said, set somebody up to change their answer.
Right.
To get you.
That's right. That's right.
Hey guys, big announcement right now. Everybody tune in. Listen. Turn up your radio, turn up your podcast, listen. We're changing things at the Ramsey Show. Oh my gosh, they're changing. Yes. So this show is a 3-hour talk radio show. When you guys get it on a podcast without the commercials, it's about 38 minutes. Or 39 minutes or whatever, and same thing on YouTube, right? And there's tens of millions of you on all these different formats, literally. So the third hour, the third segment of the talk radio show that is on podcast and on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, the third hour after starting today is now going to be on the Ramsey Network app for free. You could consider it like the after show or something. So the only thing it costs you is your email. Okay? So jump on and download the Ramsey Network app in the App Store or Google Play, and you can get the third hour of the YouTube, or the third segment of the YouTube, whatever we want to call it. I still think in hours, because this whole thing started on talk radio, right? And the third, it's the first time I'm sitting here, Jade and I are with commercials and everything. Okay, so anyway, third segment on YouTube and all podcasts is now on the Ramsey Network app as of today. It's completely free, but the podcast folks, or the podcast world, is wanting our show to be shorter. So it is just now, started right now, okay? And those of you in talk radio, you're going to get what you've always gotten, okay? We're not changing a thing. So if your station carries all 3 hours of the Ramsey Show, then you get all 3 hours. We're not turning nothing off there, okay? But the apps, you're going to the Ramsey Network app in the App Store. It's completely free. It's going to be great, because there's a bunch of other stuff that's in the app that we built, like searchable. So you can search a whole subject and get all the calls around leasing a car, or all the calls around the debt snowball. It's a cool app. So it's completely free. Ramsey Network app. You're going to still get everything you've always got. Check it out.
still doing here? You know the rest of the show's happening on the Ramsey Network app, right? So you got to jump over there to continue watching. You can download it for free. Just go to your app store, type in Ramsey Network. It's completely free, and I'll drop a link in the show notes to make it easy for you. So if you're watching on the app, you're in luck. But if you're watching anywhere else, this show is over for you. So jump onto the app and let the fun continue. All right. Go on now. Don't make it weird. Okay, I got nowhere to go, so you need to go. Okay, bye-bye now. All right, this is getting weird over there, guys. So what do we do?
Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show. We have... Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, host of the Ken Coleman Show, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Jack is in St. Louis. Hey, Jack, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. How you all doing today?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
All right. Hey, my wife and I have spent most of our life pastoring small churches, and we work public works also. I did pastor full-time twice, and we've been foster parents and adoptive parents. We have 9 children, and we've done all this on a nothing budget. You know, most churches want to keep their pastors poor and humble. It don't sound like I'm complaining, but I guess maybe I could be. But we've had to move multiple times, and about a year or so ago, we sold our dream house to get rid of a bunch of debt, and some folks at our town wanted to raise foster kids there because of the size of the house. So we scaled down, but our bills keep coming in. My wife had 2 massive widowmaker heart attacks, and she doesn't look like it. She doesn't fit the profile. They laughed and said she just had some gastric problems until she had one in front of them. And about lost her. Anyway, we're loaded up with debt, and we have a house that we really enjoy, and has been more affordable probably than we've had in years. And I can sell it and get rid of all of my debts, every bit of it.
I thought you paid off all your debt when you sold the other house. I misunderstood.
No, I'm sorry, Dave. I paid a bunch of my debt down. I reduced my debt by about $60,000.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And how much debt do you have today, not counting your
I have 155.
55, not counting your house.
Not counting the house, that's correct.
Okay, and how much do you owe on the home?
105.
And how old are you guys?
I'm 57 and she's 55. We still have 2 children at home, 2 adopted sons.
Your life away, brother. For others, and for the kids and for the churches that you've served, and you're to be commended for that. And it sounds like, no, I don't think you would sell your house unless you just hate the house or something.
Oh, we love it. We're absolutely love it.
No, I think it's time for you to consider something you've never done in your entire life, and that's going to make some money. And there's nothing ungodly about that. That would clean up your debts and help you start to build a nest egg as you head towards your retirement years. And you need to do both, don't you?
Well, I have stayed with the company in the position I've been with. This will be 5 years, and I've gradually worked my way up. And my wife just got her teaching certificate last week and got her first full-time contract.
So what will be your household income now?
We went from about $28,000 to about $60,000.
With her teaching and your job?
And my full-time job, about $60,000 total.
Okay.
And in our area, we're a rural area south of St. Louis, 4,000 people. There's not much here. So really, that doesn't sound like a lot of money to a lot of people, but in our area, that's a piece of living.
Well, it's just what I'm comparing the 60 to is the 55. And that doesn't matter what area you're in.
Yeah.
So I need some money to throw at that 55 so that you can keep your house.
Right.
And so I think that sounds like some kind of side hustle. I don't know what that is in your area, what you're constrained to, or but I mean, for the next 3 or 4 years, if for 2 years, if you could bring in an extra 20 grand on a side hustle, 25 grand, you can start to talk about clearing this 55. And of course, if y'all are used to living on 28 and now you're going to live on 60, maybe that'll help too. You could go that way. But no, I think you keep the house and you figure out a way to work income up, don't you, Ken?
I agree. I think the target you gave him, and I was thinking 15 to 20,000, something realistic there. That means he's doing some odd jobs, side hustle stuff. Even in a small town like that, she's tutoring. She's teaching, and if what we're talking about here is just over $1,000 a month to get to the $15,000 mark, $20,000, even in a small community like that, per year extra, plus the actual doubling of the income and a budget. They've lived below their means. He certainly learned how to do that over all the years. Obviously they've had some debt, and with some health issues and things like that, but I think they can do that and get it out of there quickly.
Jack, I would tell you to get on a detailed budget on every dollar, and we'll give you a year of that free. I'll sign you up for it. Okay, so you guys can jump on that app, and you and your wife together can do that. But anything she can do to pick up a couple of tutoring gigs, and you can pick up a little bit here or there, and you guys take the fact that your income has gone way up percentage-wise, try to keep living down on nothing and throwing everything you can at this debt so that you keep the house. And then the next step is you build your emergency fund, and the next step is you start to talk about really saving for retirement because you got about 10 years. And you got to start working on that nest egg. So it's not going to magically appear if you don't build it. And so I want you to somehow figure out a way to get after that. That's what I would do if I were in your shoes. Hey, man, thanks for the call. We appreciate you. What noble people, though. They gave their life away.
Oh, yeah, just true ministry, and I get that. And by the way, I'd say one of his side hustles, he ought to get involved with his denomination, whatever that is in that state, Missouri, and he could pick up some interim preaching jobs where there's actually decent money, and he knows how to do that, and that's on Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's real money.
Yeah, just fill in the pulpit. Yeah.
I can tell you, Ken Sr. is doing it for fun because he's an old man. Mm-hmm. He's 72, he doesn't need it. They've got a great smart investor that's taking care of them all these years, and they're fine. But he's doing it, Dave, just to stay active, and he's loving it, and it's blown him away what kind of income, not massive income, but it's just like really been surprising for him how much money he can make in a month just filling pulpits.
Yeah. So Ken's dad is a retired prep pastor.
Yeah.
And that's what he's talking about. So this is not something that Coleman just made up here on the spot.
No, it's an actual
thing. It's actually occurring.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Get connected with your denomination. You'll be surprised. They have openings where churches are trying to figure it out, and they're looking for people that come in and they fill the pulpit.
Oh, well, there's a lot of
happens a lot.
There's a lot of holes, that can be helped and so forth. There we go. Yeah, good stuff. All right, open phones here. If you want to talk about your life and your money, this is common sense for your life. That's what we call it around here. And nowadays, common sense is so rare that having it is like having a superpower. So you jump in and we'll talk. Phone number is 888-825-5225. You can do that. And hey, those of you that have not heard, the final 40 minutes of the show has moved over to the, on talk radio, it's still going to be right where it always was, but it's moved over to the Ramsey app. And if you haven't signed up for the Ramsey app, it's free. You can listen to the whole show there, or you can listen to the final 40 minutes there. Starting this week, it has moved over there from podcast land. And so you can just download the Ramsey Network app at, Google Play or in the Apple Store, whatever you need to do. And it's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. And that way you can hear the final 40 minutes every day. And you can listen to the whole thing there if you want. And you can even email us a question. We might get it on the air. You never know. This is The Ramsey Show.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey, what's up? Back to school madness is about to hit. We got travel and work and forms to fill out and sports to travel to and on and on. And my family schedule is so packed, and we haven't even made room for things like date nights and exercise and counseling and church and home projects. And these are the things that make our life even worth living. Here's what I've learned. When it comes to taking care of me, I have to put on my oxygen mask first. And that begins with me deciding to stay well and whole. And here's the thing, I know this applies to you too. So don't skip the things that matter to you, including exercise, including regular date nights and hanging out with friends, and your regular therapy appointments. When it comes to therapy, I recommend contacting my friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is 100% online, staffed with licensed therapists. It's convenient, flexible, and suited to fit your schedule. Therapy can help you learn positive coping skills. It can teach you how to set boundaries and practice those boundaries. You can learn how to become the best version of yourself and find peace in all of this chaos. In the upcoming season, make sure you put on your oxygen mask first. Never skip therapy day. Call my friends at BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Ramsey Radio today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Ramsey Radio.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. The $12 sale is here through August 31st. Whether you're looking for parenting advice, tips on how to build wealth, live a more peaceful, non-anxious life, or you're looking for purpose for your work, the sale's got something for you. $12 books to help you raise money, smart kids, to help you get out of debt and build wealth, to help you live and build a peaceful and joyful life, like Dr. John Deloney's 6 Daily Choices. Yeah, that's great. And $12 resources to help you find the work that really matters. Ken Coleman's Paycheck to Purpose is on the list. Check all these out at RamseySolutions.com. Big sale going on right now. You don't want to miss that. Crystal's in Pennsylvania. Hi, Crystal. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Ken and Dave. Thank you for having me.
Sure. What's up?
So I was calling on behalf of my mother, and I was just hoping to get some advice on how to get her back on track. My father left her after 40 years, and was kind of left her with nothing, and she's 61 now. So just trying to find out where we can get started and for her future.
They have nothing?
Well, I've been trying to encourage her to, it's going to be 2 years this December to see a lawyer, but she's kind of stuck in the moment still and seek counseling. But he took his 401k with her and left her with a house that has 2 liens on it. And she makes...
so they're not divorced?
No, they're not divorced.
Okay. Well, to start with, she can't get on with her life until she's divorced.
Right. Been trying to encourage her to get a lawyer, but I didn't know if there was anything she can do outside of that in the meantime.
No.
Okay.
Using the left lane to turn left on East Palmdale Boulevard.
Yeah, he's responsible for all this, and she gets half the assets, and he gets half the problems. He doesn't get just to say, I'm going to leave you with nothing, and I get to do whatever flip I want to do. That's not the way the law works. And the law doesn't activate as long as he sits over there and does whatever the flip he wants to do, and she does nothing about it. So she can't move on with her life. She can't heal and go to the next step until they put a stake in this thing.
Right.
It's the only next step, and there's not really anything to do until you do that. So that is the answer to your question, Mom. We're going to a divorce attorney today. I've made an appointment. I'm taking you with me, and here we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he's getting away with murder here.
He is. It's disgusting.
Yeah. And it's wrong. So, but there's no way, he left my mom with nothing is not a true statement. Your mom has chosen to try to exist in a past fantasy that is no longer there, called her marriage. I'm sorry. Gosh, it hurts so much.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad, man, are you talking to him?
No, I haven't spoken to him in a year.
In years? Oh, wow.
A year, just 1 year.
Oh, a year. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in the middle of all this then, okay, so he's lost everything.
Yes.
So sad. Yeah, I'm not trying to pick a fight, but it's just a matter of what is right, what is equity, what is correct. And what is correct is that she gets, half of the assets and half of the problems at a minimum, and he gets the same. And then she can move. We can look at that and say, okay, what are her next steps from there? Obviously, too, she has to create an income. So she's got to do some analysis and start talking about what she's going to do with her life. Because, again, the grieving of 40 years of marriage. Man, I've been married 42 years. I told Sharon she leaves, I'm going with her. Man.
You're just tagging along.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So, right. There's not going to be there might be a murder, but there won't be it's like, that's just, golly. Wow.
Yeah, I get that. That's really tough stuff. Yeah, and the thing is, that's been going on way longer before that, and he just finally checked out.
Yeah.
Man, that's terrible.
Yeah, horrible. So sorry. Jenny's in Columbus. Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, great. Thanks for taking my call. So my question is about a gift that my husband and I have received from my in-laws. They had sold some vacation property and put the proceeds into an LLC, which is my husband, the sole proprietor or sole owner, member, whatever the word is, sorry, of that. And so the money is sitting there, and my husband and I would like to take that and use it towards debt. So I'm trying to piece together if that's the best way to do it, pay this debt in full,
yes.
or if we invest this and take the proceeds.
No.
There is an asterisk to it.
Okay.
My in-laws basically told my husband that the money is for when they're dead, and that they did not want them to spend it while they're still alive, even though it's no longer in their name. So we kind of have this moral obligation where we're feeling a little torn about that. My husband definitely wants to spend it, and I'm kind of trying to back off.
Yeah, I would just tell them we don't want the money.
Okay.
I don't take gifts with strings attached.
Okay, because I think in their mind it's still their money and we're just holding it, and then when
and now you're responsible for it and you're liable for it, and anything that happens negatively is going to reflect on you. And if something happened with that LLC, they come after you, the people do, and all because you got money that's not yours parked in your name. They should take that back. And I'm not sure I'm not sure what they haven't exposed themselves to gift tax. Do they have any idea what the flip they're doing?
I'm not sure that they had the greatest guidance when this happened. It kind of hit us all with...
I don't think they had any guidance when this happened, because you can't just hand somebody $200,000 without paying gift tax on it, or without going through the Unified Estate Tax Credit process and using it part of your federal estate tax exemption. There's a process to do this. You can't just hand people money. And the LLC does not fix that.
Yeah, it went through on our taxes, and then we were liable for, $35,000 in taxes that we didn't know were coming, because all the income from that proceeds went on my husband, on our filing our own taxes, because it was transferred to that. So
why? Who paid that? Who paid that?
We took it from the proceeds that were within that LLC. So what was left in the proceeds, we paid the.
Man, I think y'all need to get some tax planning advice and some estate tax advice, because I think you all have screwed this up royally. You can't just randomly move stuff around without getting. You know what the gift tax is? It's 55%.
Right.
If I hand you an asset that's worth $300,000 and I don't do it properly, I get a tax bill for $150,000, not 35.
We're finding out a lot of things that we didn't know were happening, and I think their intention was to make it so that nothing will happen once they do die, because my husband's an only child and they were trying.
They're dumber
I
than a
think their
rock,
intention
though.
was to have everything.
This is just this is stupid on steroids. I'm telling you, they have screwed this up. I'm telling you, really, this is an emergency. They're getting ready to lose $100,000 more if this comes to light to get audited, and that may end up on you all if they die. So you guys need to fix this. Y'all need to get this cleaned up and get some advice and do this right. No, I don't want anything to do with this money. It's a freaking hot potato. It's not free money. There's nothing to do with it. You don't have a choice to invest it. You don't have a choice to use it on debt because it's not even really your money, except it is in your name and you've taken on all the liability for it. No, heck no, man. What a horrible thing to do. Some of you parents, the things you do to your kids. And listen, folks, here's the deal. An individual can only, let me find it this year. What is it this year? 18,000. An individual can give another individual 18,000. An entity can give another entity 18,000. Anything in excess of that is subject to gift tax. If you don't use some estate tax planning tools like the Unified Estate Tax Credit Program, which you can do, but you have to actually know it's there. You can't just hand stuff $200,000 to your kids and not have, you're going to get screwed to no end here by the government. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. Gym allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills with no networks and the freedom to choose your health. CHM, the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Cole is in Memphis. Hi, Cole. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I got a couple questions for you, or I just got one, I guess. And I'll kind of give you a little background here. So I'm 24. I graduated in December with a degree in finance. So, and that was in December. So when I graduated, I started a co-op at a company here in Memphis, and that was in June, and it was an accounting, it was in the tax department, and I was doing accounting work. Well, I actually ended up liking it, actually, and decided I wanted to do my master's program, or start my master's program in accounting. So there were some roadblocks along the way, and I've actually learned that my time schedule taking my accounting degree would be it's going to be longer than I thought it was going to be. So I guess my first question is, it is going to be expensive. Should I try to take out a loan for it, or should I try to bankroll it, or pay for it myself? I guess is what I would say that. Or should I just go ahead and go into the workforce and then come back to it later? Is my first question.
Are you in accounting now? I'm trying to follow what you just laid out for us. You'd like to.
What are you doing right this second?
So currently I am waiting for school to start. So I went ahead and got accepted to the master's program, but so my degree is in finance, and then I did this co-op in accounting.
I know. So right now you're doing nothing right this second, and you're getting ready to go back to school full time, and you don't have the money to do it.
Well, I do, Currently, so I've got 24,000 in savings and 5,000 invested. So
what's the program going to cost, and how long is it going to take?
it's going to cost up to 29. But what is 29 is probably going to be more 34
okay.
now.
And what's the driving reason to get the master's in accounting? If that's assuming that's what you're getting into.
Yes, and the driving reason is I really wanted to be. Well, honestly, I really fell in love with accounting, but really, I would like to be a dual threat in that space, in the finance accounting space.
Meaning what? What does that mean? I know what dual threat means, but specifically, does that mean what? CPA plus?
Maybe, or more of kind of just have more experience in everything and kind of be able to understand.
So, real quick, just let's run through this. Is a master's degree the only way to get where you want to be?
If you're going to be a CPA, he's going to have to finish.
Oh, I know, but I want to hear you. Like, if that is that the only way to get where you want to go, or can you get there and then come back to it later? That's the question. Do you need it now to get where you want to go, or can you start the path? What are your thoughts?
Well, I guess no. Not necessarily right now. And I guess that could bring up something else. I'm kind of scared at this point in time to take out the loan.
You should. Here's an option. Here's why I asked the question. I'm cutting you off because one of the things I think you have to explore is you tested the accounting field in the co-op. You know you like it. That's half the battle. That's huge. I would be getting back into the field. I'd be getting a full-time job with a good firm and be looking at firms, and in the interview process find out how many of these firms are willing to help you with your master's degree or maybe pay for the entire thing through either reimbursement or they're just going to fund it. This is very, very possible. And I'd be kicking the tires on this, Cole, before I ever even sniffed at the idea of taking out a loan. Plus, you've got the cash. So you don't need a loan anyway. You've got the cash. You can make the additional $5,000 between now and whenever you decide to start. There's no absolute reason at all for you to get a loan.
You don't have to have it all up front.
So, I if I were you, I'd get back into business and see if one of these firms, let's get in there and bust it for 6 months. And then say, hey, I'm kicking the tires on a master's. Here's why.
You don't have to do an accounting master's. You do not have to be a full-time student. There's plenty of adult programs that people do while they work a full-time job and finish up their master's. They do it. People do it and they're not that expensive. What you're talking about paying is a little high for a master's degree. And so you ought to do that for around 20. Really.
And there's such a demand out there, Dave.
I think you go get a job where they have a benefit that pays for your education.
I agree.
And you get it free, and you're working and making money, which means you're going to be. That's like a $20,000 signing bonus, a $40,000 signing bonus, if you go do what and is suggesting. So the delta between what you're talking about doing, making no money, not working, going to school, burning through your cash. So what would you have made during that 2 years, and what would you have spent that maybe someone else would have paid you during that 2 years and paid for your school? I mean, now we're bumping up to $100,000 here. Difference in that plan and the plan you're on currently. So no, I think you go get a job, man, and just make sure that the people you get a job with undergrad, nothing wrong with that at all. You just don't have the master's in accounting, and you're not on a CPA track until you get that. And but take a job with somebody that pays well, has reasonable hours, and is going to pay for your master's. And that's exactly what I would do if I were in your shoes. Your idea is not bad. The process of how you're getting at it sucks. And that's what I would change.
Like these graduate degrees, folks, they're always going to be there. So don't feel this pressure to jump right into it if it doesn't make any sense. Those programs are always going to be there. And increasingly in today's world, we're seeing companies that are paying for these programs because they want to retain quality people.
You know, there are a lot of post-grad work that you can do, graduate degrees that you can get that are economically useless. That's right. They don't do anything. The MBA is actually useful. You actually can further your career, not because you have an MBA, but because of what you learn while you're getting the MBA. And it is a box that has to be checked if you're going to go to a CPA.
That's correct.
So, you don't have a choice on that one. But But you know, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that people are going, I'm going to go get my, for what? You're just collecting, certificates, and very expensive little certificates, gold-lined certificates. Stephen is in New Jersey. Hey, Stephen, what's up?
December. And so we've been through it. We've got the every dollar app, which is the premium version, very, very helpful. And so right now we're renting a one-bedroom apartment. Our lease is up in April. She's going to take off the baby. That kind of lines up to the end of our lease. And we're speculating moving in my dad for a concrete period of time to save money.
What is the concrete period of time?
6 months.
Which way are you all leaning? Because you called to get our take, so you guys are leaning one way or the other. Which way?
So, I think all parties agree that it would be not the idealist of situation. My dad still works. My twin brother lives at the house. The other big factor that moves me towards it is right now we spend about $1,750 a month on rent. And another factor is my neighbor, who used to watch us as kids, would be more than happy to babysit. And that.
What's your household income?
We make about $130 together.
You guys do whatever you want to do. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think your twin brother, your father, has any idea what they're signing up for with a brand new baby in the house. Nobody gonna sleep. And your wife's probably telling you she doesn't want to do this. She may have not said it overtly. She may be trying to be kind, but I think she's sending you signals she doesn't want to do this. Mine would be going, nope.
Nope. Less than ideal, Dave, is code for it could get messy.
Nope. This is bad. No, I don't think I'm going there. I'm gonna be okay. I've been doing this show for over 30 years, and some of the saddest calls I've taken are from situations that are completely preventable.
Yeah, and what's so hard is I feel like one of those, especially the ones that I'm like, oh, it's terrible, are people that call in and their spouse has passed away suddenly and they don't have life insurance. We actually took a question of a lady and she had 3 kids, pregnant, and husband didn't have life insurance. And I'm like, I can't even imagine. Or even if it was opposite, right? If a mom passed away, there's a dad with kids and trying to figure out how am I going to afford childcare? How do I outsource some stuff that maybe she was doing? And it just takes the grief and the sadness of something like a sudden death to a whole new level. Like when you have to think through how am I going to pay my bills in the middle
next week.
Yeah, in the middle of all that grief. Like it's terrible. And so life insurance is the one thing, especially as a mom with 3 little kids, that I'm like so big on for people to get because it's inexpensive. Xander is the place that Winston and I actually get all of our life insurance, and we keep re-upping it because I'm like, I just want it there. Like there's something about that safety of knowing that you have money if something suddenly happens.
And it doesn't cost much because Xander shops among a gazillion different companies. It doesn't cost much. You just have to admit that someday you're not going to be here. You got to say it out loud, and you got to say, I'm going to say I love you to my family by taking care of them and taking the time to put this stuff in place. It costs us stinking pizza.
There really is. So that is one thing to do, to say I love you to your family.
So we've used Xander for all of our family's needs for insurance for many years, including, of course, term life insurance. To get a free quote, go to 800-356-4282. That's 800-356-4282, or go to Xander.com. Hey guys, if you want to help us out, we could use the help. Click the share button on your podcast or your YouTube and share this show with people. Also subscribe and follow and do that. All those things help us because it causes the algorithms to push the show forward. People about it that might not even know they were looking for it. So it's very nice. And so thank you for all the help you've given us because, and continue to do it, please, because it changes everything. Our numbers on YouTube and on podcast are way up, and it's all you people's fault. Thank you. We appreciate $4,000 in taxes. And you gave up 10 to save 4. That's not a good trade. And that's the kind of crap people do when we get mad enough about taxes. If you want to do that, just increase your giving to your church. And it happens, at least the money's going to something good. If you want to turn 10,000 into 4,000 tax savings, just increase your charitable giving. You can do that without. It's just not fancy at all, but it's not a mathematical trade you want to do very often. I mean, you want to do good generosity, but I'm talking about you don't do this for tax reasons. You do it for giving reasons because the economics of it, you're turning 10 into 4. Yeah, and that don't work.
And real quick, it's really important that for our broader audience that you really have a tax pro in your life, no matter how much money you make, because I'm just looking at this and I know that the New York State taxes very, very different, much more complex than Tennessee, for instance. And so the federal plus the state taxes, having that tax pro, Dave, is huge because of the minutia, loopholes, and all those things. It really is important.
Well, I've got friends that are people of serious net worth and serious income, and when they sit down with a pro and they look at what California has recently done with an extra 15% on people that make serious money, they said, I really love California, but I'm not going to live here anymore.
Absolutely.
And they left. Yeah. And I can name 3 or 4 people off the top of my head right now that have left there in the last 3 years because of the tax law and paid cash for a house in the Nashville area with the savings from 1 year.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Not paying California. So that's what this done. But at least you may want to choose to stay. I'm not saying that Rebecca needs to leave. We were joking with her about that, but my buddy could choose to stay in California if he wanted to stay there. That's right. But he needs to know what it's costing him to be there. Yep. And so they left.
Yep.
And one of them's building a house over by you.
I know.
Yeah.
Trust me, don't get him. He shall remain nameless, but don't get him started in California taxes.
And he lived there his whole life.
Yeah.
So he's pretty good.
And also palpably excited about